Microphone looks good.
Okay.
And microphone looks good. Outgoing
Guess I'm done with
flow
there.
of megabits, whatever's going on, looks good.
Coming to you in 5,202 megabits per second, live from Clarksville, Tennessee. I am Kim of Kim Fixes Things. You can find my channel on YouTube at Kim Fixes Things, and you are here on the Buff Del Campo channel with your host, Buff Del Campo. Hi everyone, it's Tuesday night, and on Tuesday nights, we are in our studio, and our studio has this magical green screen. You can see the sort of weird remnants there. Where's the top of the green screen? Up there? Okay, yeah. And the magical green screen gives us special superhuman abilities, powers. Cut it out! You're distracting the living crap out of me.
I'm sorry, I'm trying
Give me my mouse back, you.
trying to turn the thing on that didn't get turned on.
Mouse your own screen.
My mouse won't do that screen.
Mouse your own screen. What was I doing? Okay. All right. We're big. I should have done that to start. We should have started big. Wow, look at all these people. Welcome, everyone. A bunch of people are already here, starting the night off right. We're really doing well.
Yeah, already got
on the Tuesdays. We get a bunch of people. Buddy Carfano, Patrick Sullivan, and Mexican Spec were in here early.
And Patrick Sullivan said something about a 73 Datsun truck, and I had time. I found a picture of a 73 Datsun truck and put it up.
So
keep going.
Yeah. The points. On to the points. We'll start right away. Right into it, since there's so many people already here. The way the points work is I award the points when you do something good that I like, that I recognize. And you keep track of the points. I don't keep track of the points. What do you think? I got like a spreadsheet? A database of points? No. It's on your honor. If I award you points, you keep track of them. If you write them on the back of your hand.
Commercials already.
Make that stop. Don't you dare let there be commercials. How do we make that stop?
I don't know. We didn't have a way to make it stop.
Oh, in the studio, we have a button that makes us...
I don't know. Anyway.
We're like 3 minutes in. Why are there commercials?
They started doing that. I don't know how to stop it. You just do it. Anyway, go on with your points and your times and everything. Yeah.
If you get an advertisement during the stream, one of the things we do to try and offset the annoyance is award you points for telling us about your advertiser. People who are willing to sponsor the stream through advertising, we'll call them out. If we have experience, we'll tell you about it, you know. If not, or if maybe it's just not the moment, we might skip it over. But either way, if you call it out in chat, you get points. You get 2 points. Even if I don't see the comment, you get the 2 points for calling it out. But I try to call them out and award them. So I will continue to do that tonight and during the week when we are streaming. And we can say, no, I'm just feeling mighty professional. It started coming out, and I was like, wow, I've been working that intro. The other thing I like to do is, promptness is supposed to be important. I don't know why. It's just people like that. So I figure that's a goodest place any to start with awarding points. Buddy Carfano was here first and fastest and on the trigger at 7 p.m. at start time with the comment. So we're going to award 3 points. Mexican Spec, our moderator, thanks for being here, Mexican Spec, is in second. He gets the 2 points, and Kevin Smith.
They popped up this close together, too.
Kevin Smith gets also 2 points, being third. And Turbo Tom, BNR Racing, Mike N, Lester LeSabre, Mark Lewis, Johnny C, calling out names here. You're all also in at 7:01. You're all getting a point for... Luis Miguel Suarez Barijos. You also get a point for all being here like, man, within seconds. It's hard. Sometimes I think the lag cheats people, so I'm being a little bit nice here. Gearhead 6971 is here. He said he sent you a link. Did you get it from Gearhead?
I do see it in my email here. I have not opened it yet, but I see it's there.
Crash's Roadrunner Garage is here. Says he's taking a break from working on his Slant 6. You don't have to take a break. Put the stream on your phone and keep on wrenching. And you can just listen a little bit.
Or sit back and relax and watch the stream.
However you want to do it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How's that Slant 6 going? We have several Slant 6s. I don't think we're going to build another Slant 6 this year. I think we've done our share of Slant 6s in the last couple years. This last one that I had that needed rebuilt, I rolled it over the hill. And it's not coming back. So until we get another car that already has a Slant 6 in it, and if one of the ones that we have, if one of the Slant 6s we built, for some reason, crazy reason, blows up, I'm replacing it with a 318 because I got 2 of those to build. So, and a 360.
Here comes the ads already.
This is wrong. Can you make it stop?
I don't think I can. I mean, we had that button up there, but it was before it.
That's only 3 minutes apart.
It's terrible. And I have it set for like, I don't know, almost a half hour, 20-something minutes.
I don't think this is necessary. I think something needs done here.
They've changed it. Okay. So, they probably clicked out of it by now.
Okay. I had to scroll to the end of the chat so we could get right back.
Okay.
Dougster Wolverine Garage is here.
Oh, wait a minute.
Have no fear, the Dougster is here. Potato.
Okay, but I'd like you to scroll up a little bit so I can catch a few people here. Mark Hewis, because he stopped at Crash's Roadrunner Garage. Mark Hewis.
Oh,
Mark Hewis
Mark.
is a good old friend of mine and one of the airplane guys, and it's good to have you here. Thanks for stopping by, Mark. I want to say hi to Mark. Okay, now you can scroll again.
Okay.
I didn't want to miss that.
They're talking about a 620, not a 32. Barley's car all day. Oh, okay. So the Fairmont is coming along with brakes, I think, right? Was he putting brakes on that car? I think was the plan.
I don't remember.
I hope it's going well, Mexican Spec. I think the brakes in our Fairmont should be pretty strong. If you were not here for one of the late night streams that we did, we have been working on his 78 Ford Fairmont. Do you have pictures of that to show?
I may. I'm trying to catch up with the chat because it's just going like crazy, and I don't want to miss things. And they're talking about ads, and now you've got to.
You need to be on the ball.
You got to give the points for all these ads they're talking about.
Oh. Okay. Dougster's got an Amsoil ad. He was big proponent of Amsoil full synthetic. Fleet Farm. I've never dealt with Fleet Farm yet, but I thank them for being a sponsor of our Pro X2 and certain ads. Okay, Turbo Tom. Butcon commercial. I don't know what that is. U.S. Bank and a pharmacy. Oh, Bitcoin. Okay. Bitcoin has to advertise? How does Bitcoin have to advertise? What do they tell you? Buy Bitcoin? It's weird. Okay.
So they all get 2 points? They all get 2 points.
Buy low, sell high. That is your financial investing advice for today. It's never wrong. Buy low, sell high. Got it? Good. If you can do that every time, you'll make money. Right? How's that work for investing strategy? I am amazing. Okay.
Yeah. Kevin Smith, yes. Try again. I have my email open right now. So if you send, and I've got lots of emails from people right now. So it's working on this end.
Patrick Sullivan is 7 minutes late because he was watching Pole Barn Garage live cast. Well, that's understandable.
Well, thanks for.
I really enjoy Pole Barn Garage. I have been watching since about the 4th or 5th episode of the Holy Goat series. And I watch, I swear I do end up watching just about everything he does. Although I can't say that sometimes I don't put it on 1.5 speed. He comes in and he's like, "What are you watching?" And they're going, because sometimes
She lives in 1.5 speed
I'm impatient.
when she's watching videos.
I'm a little attention deficit. So if I put it on super fast speed, it seems like they get to the point quicker. Like, all right, we know the starter is spinning. We know you're putting gas in it. Come on. Fix it, fix it, fix it. Put the brakes on. Let's go. Let's go. Now he's taking it to town. He's got a formula. It works. It's entertaining. You know? Now he's gonna shoot a self-tapper in. We know it's We know it's coming. You know it's coming. The self-tappers. He's bringing them out. I'm sorry. I'm excited.
You're going nuts.
I'm on fire tonight. All right. Oh, look at that. Mexican Spec, thank you. Threw up the email address. If anyone wants to send us pictures of their project, something that they're working on, something that they're proud of, something that they used to own that they really miss, something that happened in their town, something in the popular news, maybe avoid political stuff, but something, topical or timely, or something historical and interesting. Or tonight, we're doing 1973. So every week, we have selected a year to exclusively kind of devote some time and focus of the stream on. So if you have a favorite car or truck or photo or memory from 1973, and you can send us a picture that relates to that, you want to send it to buffdocampo@gmail.com, he will get it and try and show it. He does screen them to make sure there's nothing unsavory.
Kevin, I haven't seen anything from you yet, but I've got other people coming in, so I don't know what's going on.
Why is it not working? Did you block Kevin Smith?
No, it's just an email address. It's a Gmail address. It's like open to everybody.
Yeah.
And
Luis likes the 1973 AMC Matador. I will bring one up. I'll bring one up. And while I'm doing that, I will allow Buff Del Campo to be in charge again.
In charge?
He can take back over. Since I'm the co-host, I'm not supposed to run this entire show.
Okay, I'm going to start showing a few other pictures, which means you're probably going to have to get involved a little bit. Because as I bring up things like this, it's, yeah, there you go. Thank you. Buddy Carafano sent that in, 73 Pinto wagon, and man, do I like those things. I had one of those. I put the panels on it like the, like the little Pinto vans, and it was a Woody like that. But eventually I took all the wood off and had a guy did it for me. He did that all, painted that, or peeled all that phony baloney wood off and painted it black for me. That was a pretty nice car. Let's see, Patrick Sullivan says, oh man, it cuts in half. I'm not sure what that is. Luis, well, okay. Mike N. Is that a 73 Datsun? Must not be any cosmetic difference from 72 to 79 old Datsun trucks. Yeah, I think that body style came out in 72. Oh yeah, you're looking up the 73 AMC Matador for Luis?
There it is.
Yeah, 73 was okay. My favorite one is a 74, and that's why I ran out and bought one. But I was...
but we're talking about... I like the grill.
A lot of people didn't like the 74.
No? Why not?
They did, because it was a little bizarre. Oh, and then Buddy Carafano, along with the Pinto, brings up... Oh, my picture's gone.
I like this green one. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. AMC cars are pretty good cars. Well,
yeah.
You had them as you grew up.
My mom preferred AMCs. We had exclusively AMCs for like 10 years when I was a kid. My mom had 2 or 3 different ones, and they were, I mean, hardworking vehicles. My mom took them to work. My dad took them to work. They run us back and forth to the grocery store all around. We lived out in the distant suburbs of Pittsburgh, So the roads were bad in the winter, and there's lots of potholes, and that car took a beating, and it kept on going. It's a good car.
See, Luis says yes, probably because of the '73 Matadors. Yeah, that's actually as a two-door is a pretty good looking car.
Boy, there's lots of chat tonight, guys.
There sure is.
Thanks for being here and participating. We really appreciate you, and we will try and read as much of the chat as we can handle. But honestly, 2 to 3 hours of reading every comment can be exhausting. So, pardon us if we skip something. If you say something and you want to circle back around, go ahead. You could say it again. Just don't spam the chat with the same comment.
Just yeah, Luis, that was a '73 Ford Pinto. JB, back but not back, folding laundry and trying to get my headphones to work. Okay.
We don't say anything interesting. Just look at the pictures.
And JB's the guy that found me my Zephyr in Texas, and we went and got it, and now it's getting better and better every day. Kim was wanting to know if I took pictures of. I took videos, but I don't have them available right here. I've been putting them up on the shorts, little things we've been doing with the car. And you want to?
Yeah, I was giving you a hard time.
And I put up another one from Buddy
okay.
Carfano.
Let me change it up here.
And that Buddy Carfano sent in
the
Pinto and then the Vega. And those two were like head-to-head competition at the time. And there were people like Pintos, people like Vegas. I tend to like both of them. Although I had 2 Vegas and then I had a lot of Pintos. What was the other Pinto? The Mercury version. There's always a Ford to Mercury version. Everything it was Mercury Bobcat. I had a Bobcat wagon for a while too. '73. It was this Dougster says in '73 it was a penny more per gallon for mid grade and 2 more for premium. Now it's over $1 between regular and premium.
So I did a search here, and it says gas prices throughout U.S. history. In 1973, average was 39 cents. And they said in today's dollars, that would be $2.59, which is comparable to what it is. But it says that in 1973, as the oil crisis begins, the price went up to 53 cents per gallon, which would be more equivalent to $3.19. So, some things haven't changed, have they now?
Raw Dogs popped in. Hello, how you doing? And I saw somebody else come in. Oh, Sean O'Brien came in. I'm sorry, I'm not catching them all because it's moving quickly.
Because when
here.
someone farts in the Middle East, the prices of gas everywhere
yeah, it just goes up.
Whatever happens, the price of gas speculates, because our fuel prices are based on futures speculators, what they believe the fuel will be worth 3 to 6 months from now. Pardon me. JB says, I missed the last few streams. Too much going on. Hey, I understand. I cannot keep up with all the people that I even like to watch, and I think that's good, right? There have been times in my life where I spent a lot of time recovering from illness and unable to do the things I wanted to do, and so I was trying to entertain and distract myself. And so I got caught up on what everybody was doing. But now I'm busy with my life, doing things.
We have a major event here.
We do?
I have an email from Kevin Smith. Says, test.
Oh.
It's here.
What did you do differently, Kevin? It seems like it's working finally. Kevin Smith says aluminum engines were junk then. Yeah, it definitely took them a long time to work out.
It depends.
The castings of aluminum stuff.
If they had steel sleeves in them, like the old aluminum engines, they worked really well, like the 215 Buicks and 215 Oldsmobiles. But the Vegas were the silicone impregnated aluminum, whatever that was, and yeah, Porsche did the same thing, and they worked for Porsche, but GM tried to do it on an inexpensive car, and high volume, first time they did it. And yeah, they had all kinds of problems. Yeah, I used to keep a case of oil in the back of my Vega, and every time I got gas, 2 quarts of oil. Every time, guaranteed, 2 quarts of oil.
We have been busy in the shop, just doing all the little things. We had one night I decided I was going to tear apart the brake system on his car because I didn't want to crawl underneath the dashboard and work on the dashboard project right now. So I took the master cylinder off because I knew that it was gungy, icky, cruddy, and took it apart and cleaned out the bore and inspected it all, put that back together. It had been leaking, so we took the booster apart to inspect it. The booster was okay internally, so I cleaned it all out, put it back together, painted it, reinstalled it, and then since all the fluid was really contaminated, I decided to also take apart the proportioning valve, just because since we're bleeding the whole system down and starting over, I figured, well, I might as well just start fresh. It's 47 years old. I don't think it had ever been dismounted from the car, probably never had a flush through it. So I cleaned it out. Everything looked good, put it back together. So everything is original, but completely refurbished and inspected, reassembled, cleaned up, looks survivor quality. And we have not bled it out yet because we're ordered new rubber lines for the 3 corners. We're going to replace those, and then from there we'll see if we need calipers or wheel cylinders. But yeah, the brake system, hydraulic system is going to be, I mean, it's worth it, right? You got a car that you care about that's that old, you service the brake system, you make sure it's ready to go end to end. You won't have any problems with it, you'll be safe. And so that's what we've been working on. And I was working on the mini bike a little bit. This is not the racing mini bike. This is a different one. And so that was a little bit, we spent a little time on that. We had a little bit of time last night starting the fire. Before that, I made a bellows so I could tend the fire quicker.
If anybody was here last night, I'm sure some of you were. She was over there in front of the fire working her new bellows that she made, and man, she had a fire going in no time.
Yeah, I'm not doing blacksmithing, but man, does a bellows really get the fire going quick. Aluminum engines were junk.
Yeah, I already got that.
I know, but I really love an aluminum engine.
Well, now, yeah.
One of the problems with aluminum cylinder heads on cast iron blocks is they're very, very particular, and you must keep water in them. If you lose a head gasket, you got to fix it right now. You cannot drive it and blow all the coolant out. If it starts leaking, you cannot drive it. You got to fix it right now. And people just drive cars until they stop. Well, then the cylinder head's all warped and ruined and whatever. So, you know.
Dougster says, stock Vega radiator looks like a heater core. Yeah, I remember those real well. It was like a little baby GM Crossflow. It was 12 inches by 12 inches. And then the ones that had air conditioning, they were really wide. They were 12 inches. There was a Crossflow. It was 12 inches by 21 inches. And I converted a lot of them to, they were 2 rows. I converted a lot of them to 3 rows, 3-row core on the 21 inch. And I'd make that radiator for the guys that had V8s. And then I started doing 4-row big cores for the V8s. And there were a lot of V8 Vega conversions around. I made a lot of those radiators.
Sean O'Brien is in his garage starting early on spring cleaning. It is time. It isn't early. It's time. Unless if you're in the northern climates, it might not be time yet. But if you're anywhere, it was 77 degrees today. If you're not getting started on stuff, if you've just left the shop all shut up all winter and haven't done anything yet, like, what are you doing? Get going.
Just before the stream started, I walked outside just to see how it was, and it was 73 degrees out there and getting dark, but 73. Man, that feels so good after all this.
I know. I almost wanted to cancel the stream
go outside
and go out and work because it's so nice, but hey, this is good. This is a good commitment that I like to keep because we have a lot of people that are going to show up. Can you imagine how many people would be kind of like disappointed?
Yeah, what happened to you guys?
Yeah, like what are you guys doing that's so important that you ditched us?
Mexican Spec says the booster on Farley's car is different from the one on your car, Buff. The one that I had, it's really rusty on the bottom, so Kim buffed all that rust off there, and we recoated it. Yeah, I primed it with a primer sealer and then clear coated it. But originally, I think it was what they call, I don't know what the coating is, but the top coating is called yellow iridated. It has kind of a yellowish, strange look to it. I think that's what color it originally was.
That makes sense, yeah.
Which is like a metal coating, but it was all 47 years, and brake fluid pouring all over it. It had gotten rusty.
Do you think he maybe means it's a different booster,
Hey,
though?
it might be a different booster. Who knows? Yeah.
Depending
Well, it's
on
a different year too.
Yeah, depending on the size of the brakes and the size of the motor that the car came with, it might have had a bigger diameter booster. Or it might have had a fatter booster. I don't know. Sean O'Brien put a new vacuum booster on his car 3 years ago.
And
did stainless steel lines and clutch.
This picture is Dick Dastardly sent that.
Nice. Is it 426?
That's what it says. I mean, that's what the valve cover says, but he called it a, where does it say here? It has, it's a dust collector, he said. I don't know if that means it's not being driven, it's collecting dust, or when you start it up, it sucks the dust into those elements from all around in a hurry.
I noticed that my 85 Dodge Dakota, it has this little tiny radiator as well. It's like itty tiny, like what? Like I didn't realize how small they make those radiators. I mean, they make them, only as big as they need to be, but I really like a bigger, larger than stock aftermarket radiator in a car. My Dart, that's a V8 350 V8 Nova radiator in my Dart. I like it, Like you can always cool a little less, but if you run out of cooling, you're in bad shape.
Yeah, if the thermostat doesn't open all the way, it's okay.
But you're not saving any money by putting your vehicle at risk. Put a big radiator in. And if you've got more width to use, like get a bigger radiator, use it all. You'll get all the airflow you need. If you're not getting enough heat in the winter, put a thermostat in it. Put a hotter thermostat in it. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like, I don't know. I guess, automotive manufacturers do it the cheapest way possible so that they can make the most profit. But
okay, JB sent in a bunch of pictures, and the kind of pictures you like, Kim, from 1973.
Antique pictures?
Oh, yeah, it's got to shrink down, huh?
Okay.
Antique. I never thought about 73 as being antique, but I guess it is.
It is. Can you zoom in one? Click. There you go.
Yeah, it's 1973, all right.
GMC trucks.
Oh, look at that. That's not an El Camino. It's a GMC Sprint, which looks just like an El Camino sitting there.
You think those are brand new trucks?
I think they probably, I don't know, are those 1973s? I don't remember what the grill looked like. I assume that's what it is, but not sure.
They're all the same except that van down at the end looks like it might be a different... It's got a different grill. I don't know. Do the vans have the same grills as the pickup trucks?
I'm going to start clicking through this because he sent in a lot. We got a lot of pictures to look at. I'm sure that's 1973.
Car hauler.
That's Chevrolet, though.
Tooling along in my Chevrolet.
Whoops.
There's the Chicago Auto Show. That's
Cadillac.
a big old Cadillac.
Cadillac Eldorados and a Cadillac DeVille's in the background. Oh, here we go. Pontiac. What is that, a Le Mans? I think it's a Le Mans.
I like the decal on the side. It's
I've
a
never
GT.
seen that before. Never seen that on a Pontiac before. Oh, no.
It
Darts.
works. Whoever designed that did a nice job. That's one of my less favorite front ends on those.
I don't like that front end of the Dart, but when that was, it's like they got to get the bumpers, and they're doing whatever they could to try to make it work, and yeah, I don't think that was real good. And then the Dodge Colt next to it, kind of like those. I remember those things.
Man, that's a tiny little car.
And 73 Chevrolet.
Oh, there's that vehicle that's half and half up on the...
Oh, the cutter. It's a cutaway. That's pretty cool. And then Buick. Oh,
Tim says 75 yesterday, 65 all week, and we're supposed to get snow here on Friday.
wow. And
Oh man.
that's what happens. You're in the high country there in Colorado. They're gonna get teased with a little warm weather, and then here it comes again. Oh man, we're almost finished with it. Let's see here. Up ads.
Don't look at them as advertisements. Look at them as opportunities to earn some points.
So maybe they're clicking out of them, but this is a 73 Grand Am. This is the first of the Grand Ams, which is a big car back then. So a pace car of some sort, Daytona.
Boy, in the 90s, the Grand Ams were just garbage.
Come on.
People hated
I
it.
had a 92 Grand Am. It was one of my favorite cars. I had a 92 and then a 93, and you didn't like them.
Motors were probably
Okay, Mexican Spec says, okay, I spammed your email with the 73 models from here. Okay, I'll get to them. Last week we didn't have many. I don't know, whatever it was, 70, it was 87. We just didn't get a lot of pictures. And this week I got email bombs. It's huge. Uh-oh, what's this? What is this?
Oh, that's like a high-speed wreck.
Is that the mess at Indianapolis? See, 73, I was in basic training in the Air Force, and so I didn't, yeah, it looks like an Indy car, but they had a huge wreck. I mean, it just ruined the race, and I missed it all. I didn't know about it till I got out of basic training, which was a good month after the race. Okay, you want to catch the ads here that people got?
Did people get ads? Oh, JB got an AutoZone ad and a kayak ad. Isn't kayak for booking hotel reservations?
Oh, it could be.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Thank you to our advertisers for sponsoring the stream. JB, you get 2 points for calling them out. Let's see.
Yeah, JB says 1973 Indy 500 wreck. That's what I figured it was. I was out there marching around doing my basic training stuff, and it was a good month later before I even knew about that. Because when you're in basic training, you have no idea what's going on in the outside world. You're looking at the guy's head in front of you, marching along, looking at the same back of the same guy's head for months.
Tim says we're getting snow because I worked on my truck outside. Tim, you've angered the weather gods. How dare you work on your project?
Look at this. 73 Cadillac Eldorado pace cars. This is funny. You'd expect to see like a race car leading all these pace cars. One race car leading a bunch of pace cars. What's with so many pace
car
cars?
Was a super exclusive thing. I didn't think they made like.
Well, usually they make a bunch of replicas of it, and then they sell them, so every dealer gets one, and they.
Oh.
But the real one is the only one that's there,
Yeah, like the real one has lights and stuff. I saw a Hoovie had a pace car and it had like
some kind of
extra flashing lights and stuff. A big complicated thing in the trunk for all the lights.
Yeah. Oh, here's another Grand Am. Man, I like 73 Grand Ams. I don't know, a lot of people didn't like that nose, but I sure did. I thought it looked so much better than the Le Mans, which is the same body. Oh, I always wanted one of those back in the day, but never got one. Oh, here we go again. Oh, man, that was Indianapolis in 1973. I knew about it. Man, I just didn't see it. Okay, is that it? That's it. That's all of his. I'm going to have to go on to, I got a lot of, can you, wagons with the bar seats in the back. What's that, the ones that you're riding backwards? An Eldorado with raised white litter tires, white walls, Kevin Smith, spine. The kid will clean up his damn self. Okay, Kim, if you could watch the chat while I got a lot of emails.
They sell them at Meckham and Barrett Jackson. Non-streetable. Yeah, because they make them go fast by bypassing all the pollution, any kind of pollution control. Maximum horsepower. Not really always what you want.
Okay, Mike Smith. Was it Mike Smith? Mike Smith. I got to go back and see who sent this. I'm sorry.
You should be sorry.
Kevin Smith. I knew Mike Smith
you.
wasn't right. Kevin Smith. I'm sorry. Kevin Smith, who's been trying to send emails forever.
Oh, Meekum, not Meckham. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mexican Spec. I said it wrong. That's not a real truck.
No, he wants to send in his models. He's been trying forever. And what's happened is,
Kevin, thank you so much for trying.
All his emails been bouncing, and he didn't know why.
We figured it out somehow. That's beautiful.
I think he said, what, his granddaughter or somebody figured it out for him, grandson or son or somebody that figured out what was going on with his email on his iPhone. But we got it working. You're communicating with us now.
Mexican Spec doesn't like the Eldorado with the raised white letter tires. Well, they probably don't have them on there anymore.
And there's more models. I'm getting him. He downloaded quite a few. There are more.
Meekum.
Oh, that's a small picture. We'll try to enlarge it, but it might get a little fuzzy. Oh, yeah. That's pretty good. I like those trucks.
What year is that? 80.
That's probably about an 80.
No, from the front end, I'd say.
And then 56 Chevy. Tri-5. So you're into building models. Man, I built so many models when I was young. And then I only built a couple as adult because I had cars. And that was the, life gets in the way. Cars, job.
Kevin says that's a 73 white Road Boss. Dad drove for Roadway for 45 years. So he emulated the truck that his father worked his career in. He's a toy. Maybe. Those came out in March 87 as a 1988 model. So it was off by 1 year. Nice.
And this next one is from Gearhead. Trying to get to it.
Yes, Kevin. Thank you very much for sending in pictures of your models. I can't even imagine the hours of hard work that it requires to put something like that together at that level.
Is Gearhead here? What is this? Gearhead. Chevrolet Bernario. Oh, that's what it says on there.
It looks like it's got a wide body kit.
My guess is that's maybe from Brazil or somewhere. South American Chevrolet. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
Oh, excuse me. Too much. Not enough coffee.
Rodog says, which is better? Like the which is better? Kevin Smith, I built box art models for AMT back in the day. And I built so many AMT models. AMT and MPC and then a few... what were they called? Johan.
The models that go on the pictures on the box. That's awesome, Kevin. Wow.
And then
we appreciate you being here. I hope you feel entertained by our little show. Vintage Adventurer Drives says, I just got on and immediately had a Subaru ad. Well, you get 2 points for calling out the advertisers. Thank you to Subaru for sponsoring our stream tonight. I do own a Subaru. It's a 1999 with 212,000 miles. And, it's incredible. The body and the interior and everything is so good, you would think. But, the motor finally gave up. And we've been having problems trying to figure out how to make it. Don't know how to fix a Subaru motor. I had it out twice, and I still can't get it to run, but... But for it to have lasted that long, it's a pretty good car. So get your Subarus now. And they are very capable on-road vehicles with the all-wheel drive. Pretty darn good for getting around in snow and bad weather and stuff.
Tim says this was his ex-wife's 73 Charger. So they had a 73 back in the day.
Not bad. I was looking at one on Facebook Marketplace, and I was eyeing it, and I was like, I don't want to spend the money, but I really want it, but I don't want to spend the money. I've been trying not to, because it was pretty far down south. It was like about 5 hours south of here, or else I would have made a bad mistake. But I think it finally sold in the last couple days, so whew, I missed that bullet. Because just what I need another Mopar around here like I need a hole in the head. If I could sell, see, but I don't want to sell.
You know what we got to get for you,
Cars.
Tim?
The last thing I need is more cars.
You know what we need to get for you?
What's that?
A Fox body. Now that you know how to work on them.
Careful, because I've seen a couple of them. I've seen a couple of Fords, and I'm like, that's a pretty nice looking car.
Okay, so then
I really like me some Mopars.
I know you're a Mopar person.
Like
Luis is taking off. Bye. Okay, take off. Thanks for being here. Oh, you got to go get something to eat. I see.
We'll be here for a while. Maybe stop back in later if you like. Good night, goodbye. All right, that's fair. We'll see you next week, if not sooner, Luis. Thanks for being here.
And you see who sent this one in?
Mexican Spec says Kim the Subaru owns you. Probably. Yeah.
I don't like it when cars own
I
me.
am indebted to the Subaru for more than I'll ever get. Yep.
And somebody up here, it's Tim, said, how's your neck today? You know, my neck feels okay, but the problem with the arm, which just gets numb and hurts and everything, I couldn't sleep last night. I'd go to sleep in minutes. I'd be waking up in pain again. And I don't know what, I just have some nights like that. So, struggled with it, but I got some sleep. And, but my neck's okay. My neck's feeling okay. But I think that's what's affecting this. I don't know. Just do the best we can. Probably got an appointment with a doctor tomorrow. It's going to be like a couple hours of physical therapy, I think. And this is from Mexican Spec, 73, I think. 73 country sedan. I thought it said country squire, but it's not. It's a country sedan. So is this look at the wheels on it. That actually looks kind of good on there. Missing a horn strip there, but that's okay. You figure that out. Upholstery's really nice. Oh, dual facing rear seats in the back. Tim says, I think I paid $2,900 for that Charger new. Man, can you imagine that? Yeah, those were the days. Of course, it took a lot longer to earn $2,900, but yep.
So, $2,900. Yeah, it says that $2,900 in 1973 is equivalent purchasing power to about $21,000 today. Which honestly, a brand new 73 Charger, would you pay $21,000 for it?
Pay more for that now. You know, yeah.
How much is a brand new Charger now? It's $40,000.
Oh, a new Charger? What would you want that for?
$50,000 for the lowest base model V6 Charger. And then you have to pay extra for your subscription to Donut Mode. So there's that.
I can't believe they did that.
And they're electric. So
Vintage Adventure Drive sent pictures 73. I'll try to get to that. I've got a lot of email this week. I got a huge email this week. Okay, so
Mexican
this is
Spec says in 50 years people are going to say you only paid $100,000 for that truck. That was a deal.
So Mexican Spec,
But in 50 years, will the trucks that they're making now still even be around? People will still be trying to pay them off. Go ahead.
Oops, I just ran out of cord because I set
What are you doing?
I set my glass on the mouse cord.
Wrecking the system. How much is a Charger now? You could pay $100.
God, I don't know.
You could pay $80. You could pay $50. Used Chargers.
I'm
Around
thinking
20,
somebody.
20.
I don't know if there's much market because I don't know how many of those they're going to sell. But if they sell a lot of those chargers, they get speakers in the back. They try to make it
That
sound
go
like.
vroom, vroom.
Well, how long before somebody's putting new sounds in there? Either music coming out the tailpipe
Yeah.
or
Like ringtones.
or get out of my way or whatever they want it to say out the back of the car. I'm backing up now.
Dud, 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 dud.
Get out of the way. I'm backing up. Blah, 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 blah.
Mike N says those new chargers lose about 40% value when you leave the dealership. I don't think it's well, it depends, you lose money on the deal, but it's how much money do you lose on the deal? If you pay a surcharge on top of retail, then yeah, you're going to lose 40% because the dealer's just taking money, not even real money. I mean, retail price is what you're supposed to pay. It already figures the dealer's markup in it. So I don't know how they charge a surcharge on top of that. They're just raking you over the coals.
Yeah, you can imagine paying the surcharge on that. Well, I don't know if they're going to sell those things.
Oh, they're selling them.
Okay, another Mexican spec car. He sent me a lot of them. I'll show a few of them. Man, that's got some 4-bolt wheels that look okay.
That's a nice looking body style. I like that. What is it?
It's a 73 Pinto. No,
Wow.
that's a 74 Pinto. Is that a 73? No, that's a 74. It's got the
it's a 2-door wagon.
That's what I had.
That's pretty
I
well.
had like a fleet of those things.
That's a nice looking car.
Oh, and they sit low and they handle pretty good. A lot of people didn't like them, and they, they either had the 2300 or they had the Cologne V6 in them.
That's still a pretty small car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even as a wagon.
Yeah. I mean, and I used to put the panels on mine because I had a bunch of those panels. Oh yeah, Mexican specs. That's right. No, Kim. He means all the new Chargers are 2024 models, making them last year's used car the second you buy it. And yeah, I don't think there are any 25s yet, or maybe there are. I don't know. Mexican spec. You got this thing for sale? It's got the Mexican spec plate on it, license plate. So I assume you do. Yeah, these are all right. Tell us about it. What engine? Oh, look at the interior. I had a couple of them with that color interior, exact same color interior. My last one had that interior. Yeah, Rodog says, hey, you buy electric cars in cold weather, you can't use heat or radio. Ford Mustang electric in the cold with no heat or radio playing made it only 75 miles.
75 miles. Yeah, that's like an hour of driving. You can only drive it for an hour in the cold? That's terrible. For brand new. Okay. Brand new. You can only drive it for an hour. And then how long does it take to supercharge it?
Okay, this is... I'll
in the cold like that, it probably takes 2-3 hours to charge it. You could never get anywhere like that.
This is Vintage Adventure. This is his. Yeah, this is his Pinto, and it's got the 73 bumpers on it, which is the original bumper, but it's pushed out a little bit further.
That's a killer project car.
Yeah, somebody's starting to take it out of the crate. That's what I used to say. When you take the wood off, you take it out of the crate. Stand back and look at it. Go, yeah, it looked better before I took it out of the crate. But then you got to fill all those holes. I've done that before too. That's a lot of work. The last time I had somebody do it for me, and the guy did a really good job. Yep, lots of holes to fill. Yeah, I've been through that. You got to be really careful doing that stuff so you don't warp everything all up. And my last one, the guy that did it for me, he peeled all the wood off, filled all those holes, painted it shiny, shiny, shiny black. It was a beautiful paint job. Man, there wasn't a ripple in that thing. He did a really good job.
Gearhead
know.
says the
Still
2025 Chargers are $61,500 to $77,000 depending on the trim level. Thank you for doing that research. I'm awarding you 2 points for giving us numbers.
Oh, here's more from Vintage. He sent in several emails, so I'm gonna try to download all the pictures of that car, and then I'll show the rest of them. Okay, okay, so this is the same car, obviously. Yeah, that's got some body work needs to be done on it, but it's still a good car. I mean, you know.
Where's he at? Like Texas or something? Look, there's an oiled.
Oh, there you go.
Housing ready to go.
What is that? A 9-inch or is that an 8-inch? Man, that's what I'd like. I'd love to have an 8-inch for mine, because but it's an old fashioned. Vintage. I'm trying to remember where you are, because I remember watching you drive your Pinto. Dean Stevenson, The Year of the Dinosaur Oil Story. Garrett, I just jumped off and looked at Dodge's website. Projected.
Adventure says I've thought of having a mural of a bunch of Pinto horses running through a field painted on the side of the car. That seems more like a van kind of thing. You got to have a lot of.
Oh, you can make that into a van.
Yeah, I guess you could paint over the windows.
No, just pull the windows out and just do that with foam and carve it the right shape and fiberglass, and you got it. I don't know. Do it with sheet metal.
He says it's a 9-inch Ford.
It's a 9-inch.
But it's being built for his scamp. And
he's
in Oklahoma. There's explains the oil well.
Oklahoma. I couldn't remember. I remember watching you drive your. He said this is like his shop truck, because I remember he was driving. He had the camera back on him. I remember seeing this the headliner from the front looking back, and he uses this as a runaround car, which is what I used to use them for a lot. My last one was a little nicer, but most of them I used for delivery vehicles in the radiator shop, and they were still pretty nice cars then.
Mexican Spec says they have thousands of 2024 models to sell first. Maybe they will re-VIN them for the new year. How do they re-VIN them? Aren't the VINs stamped on the frame and stuff like that? I guess they can retitle them? I don't know what they're allowed to do.
Yeah, Lamborghini used to do that stuff.
I mean, wasn't it Ford that had just huge parking lots of trucks piled up that didn't have computers in them? There would have to be something they could do with them to sell them. They couldn't all sell them as like 2023 models or something like it.
It'd be long lots of kids conceived in wagons like that.
There's the Malibu wagon.
Yeah, that's an SS too. That's a real unusual one.
Did Malibu Barbie drive a Malibu wagon?
That is, I'm trying to get my head out of it. Oh, there's nothing on the license plate. That's Buddy Carvana sent that in with an Opel GT in the background. And Olive's here.
Oh, my neck kind of hurts today.
Your neck hurts.
Oh, I'll be back in a moment, folks. We're getting close to an hour. Make sure your drinks are full and your snacks are unlocked. Having a good time? We're in the green screen today. Coming to you live.
Uh-oh.
And we are, is this thing on?
I don't know. Buddy Carvana sent me one that has a, it's a link. The link doesn't work. It says 73 Mach 1, but the link's no good.
Broken link.
Broken link.
Sorry.
I wanted to show that Mach 1.
Oh, I didn't finish my coffee. No wonder I'm tired. I got to talking and I forgot about my coffee. I'll be right back, everybody.
And I'm looking at emails. Maybe I should pay attention to the chat for a minute. 73. Only year for an SS wagon. Yeah, man, look at that. You know what I liked in 73 was the Laguna. The Laguna nose piece, whatever you call it, the Laguna front end. I was trying to buy an El Camino in 73 with the Laguna nose piece on it. And I was 19 years old. I was 18 years old when it first came out. It's before I went in the Air Force. I was trying to get my mother to co-sign on it. She's like, no, you're too young to be making payments on a car. And so I really wanted that El Camino, but I didn't get it. Oh, Johnny C says Ancestry and Pulte Homes, Gearhead, WGU, School of Business, and Google Ad. So there's 2 points each. Olive says Granger Ad. This makes 5 in a row, I think. Well, yeah, Granger seems to be advertising pretty heavily. Well, and I've got to thank them for that. They're supporting us. Mexican Spec says my food is almost ready. Crashes Roadrunner Garage says ad for a Predator generator. Hey, Kim, an ad for a Predator generator. You got a Predator engine without the and you do have a Predator generator. So we have those products. Yeah, that's good. 2 points. So we appreciate them sponsoring us, but I don't know. What I like about YouTube compared to TV, I don't know if any of you still watch TV. I don't watch TV anymore. Last time I watched TV was in a hotel, and it was, like 3 minutes of commercials and then 3 minutes of programming and 3 minutes of commercials, sometimes 4 minutes of commercials. You know, on YouTube, you look at the commercial, you click out of it. You get to see it, and you click out of it. That's not bad. And once in a while you get one you can't click out of, but they're still short. Whoa.
Oh,
Kim just kicked the table.
Kicked the table.
Sent the table for a ride.
You know the great thing about that Predator generator? I got a great big one. It's like a 6500. So, I don't know, it's probably a 10 horsepower engine. And it'll power some heavy duty stuff at 65. And I bought it so it could power my welder on the road if I wanted to use it for that. And in the time that I've lived here in Tennessee, because of that generator, exclusive because of that generator, it works so good that the power doesn't dare go out here. We have not had a power outage the whole time I've been here. You know why? Because I have a generator.
Because you have a generator back up, and you're going to make sure you don't use it.
It hasn't even had gas in it. I drained the gas before I moved here more than 2 years ago. Haven't even put gas in it. There has been no reason to start that generator.
Buddy Carafano resent the Mustang, this time without a broken link, and it worked. Oh. It worked, so here it is.
Oh, that's a pretty Mustang. 73 was a really good year for a Mustang.
They were big, though. I used to call that thing the aircraft carrier, because when you sit in them, the hood looked like you're looking down a runway on an aircraft carrier, because it was so big compared to the other Mustangs.
I'll bet I still have to recline the seat way back not to hit my head in that car. I mean, bigger than other Mustangs, but I bet you it's still pretty small. Tons of space in that engine bay. Yeah, you put an inline 12 in that car.
An inline 12. Well, you know the car that had the really big engine compartment was the first generation Monte Carlos. They had a thing that was about this. I can't even get it in the view. It was about this long, the fan shroud, because the fan was back so far from the radiator. And I always thought, man, the perfect engine for that would be the Viper engine, the V10, or put two 4.3 V6s in a row, so it'd be like a V12. And but you know, it's a lot of work.
Lester the Saber says, "Now I did it. I don't know what I did. I either jinxed the power outages, or I did something with my cookie. I'm dipping my cookie in. I got a cookie, oatmeal cookie, iced oatmeal cookies. It's a little hard, but it's
good. That you gave me that little piece of that one. That was so good.
Here.
No, I don't want to do that. I got a cough drop in. And
smallest rear vision ever. Yeah, I wouldn't really think you could see anything out of the back of that car. Nothing.
Kevin Smith.
The only reason that back window's on this car is so that the jerk with those really super bright LED headlights can still blind you. That's the only thing it does.
Can you fix the...
I jinxed the power. I don't think we have good power here. I think it's because we're right near the main highway. I think we have really good, reliable power.
The only time we have a power problem is somebody clobbers a power pole or something. And they fix it right away. I don't know.
You know what? The internet went out for a few minutes last night after the stream,
Right
so
after,
we got lucky.
Right after the stream.
But it came right back on, so it's weird.
Yeah.
And the weather wasn't bad or anything, so maybe it was like some kind of network reset. It was the middle of the night. Maybe they had to update the clocks.
Grandma cookies.
They are grandma cookies. What are you trying to say?
Here we go.
Are you saying that I'm grandma?
This, once again, Kevin Smith's models. Oh, there we go. 67 Corvette.
Right now, I am as old as my grandmother was when I was born.
Oh, man, can you believe that?
I am grandma aged.
I'm older than my grandfather was the last time I saw him. Yeah. Oh, it's not. Yeah, that's not a 73. That's a 69 Camaro, and it was a 67 Corvette.
Yeah, but that's a model. We're showing. Okay,
it's
so
a 69 Camaro. Yeah, it's his model.
This is not directly on topic for tonight. This is a viewer's
and
stuff.
Viewers
so it doesn't have
welcome to send in their own cars, and they don't have to be that year, you know.
And Kevin's been trying for a couple of weeks, so we appreciate him. He's allowed to send them all. We want to see. Oh man!
What'd you do? Drop your cookie in there?
It got too soft and fell in. Now there's going to be a cookie at the bottom of my coffee cup.
Well, when you hit the bottom, you'll have a little gift down there to. Or you could get. I got pliers in the kitchen.
Pliers?
You can reach in there and get them with pliers.
Okay.
What do we got here? Buddy Carfano sending more. Oh, here's everybody's favorite 73 car. Oh, except you got to make an adjustment up there, Kim.
Yeah, I do. Grandma Pacer.
Flying Fishbowl. You know what was wrong with those cars is the glass was really heavy because it was huge. And you could feel that. I mean, you go around a corner in a Pacer. And the door on the passenger side was much larger than the one on the driver's side because the passenger side, the idea was you could pull up, parallel park and somebody get in the back seat real easy. And the driver's door, you didn't want it swinging out into traffic as far. So the doors were different sizes.
What color was the car in Wayne's World? Trivia question.
Ask
I don't
everybody.
know.
I don't
Someone
know.
knows, but whoever guesses it correctly first will get points because I could type that in. Oh, I'm looking it up.
Kevin Smith says that was a resin model with an airbrush graphics Astro. I have never built a resin model, and there's times I've wanted to, and I've looked at them, but I need parts for my car more than resin models, and it's like just down the priority list far enough I don't get it,
Nope. I know the answer. Blue. Patrick Sullivan called it out as blue. It was the Mirthmobile. Mike N got Mirthmobile, which was not the question, but it was an answer. Mike, you get a point for saying Mirthmobile because I could have used that to help it. Look it up. Patrick Sullivan gets a point for blue. Blue with flames? I don't see flames on it. Did anybody catch? It's a light blue, not baby blue.
Okay. I know.
But then again, that's AI. So AI could be.
I know I'm. You might want to zoom out a little bit. I don't know what the problem is there.
Hold on, I gotta bring up the Wayne's World car.
Oh, the Wayne's World car first, and then we'll get the Mexican spec.
Flamage on the side.
Kevin Smith, sanding resin made me very sick. That was my last resin model. Really? I've never had one, but I've seen them. You know, it's just okay. Mexican spec. I know we're covering a lot of Mexican spec cars, but he's sending a lot of pictures, and they are 1973, and that's a Mach 1 that maybe he has now.
Mike, you're right. There are flames. I give you a point.
And is that a Mexican spec? I mean, you know, not that it's from Mexican spec. I mean, a Mexican spec Mustang, meaning it would can't built in Mexico for Mexico. Yeah, there you go.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, the stripe on the back, that giant Mach 1
That's got
on
the
the
same
back.
size side window as the. What was the other car that we talked about?
Don't know.
The earlier. The AMC even.
Oh,
That's a really common window profile.
oh, it's got a different steering wheel on it. But
They ruined it. Ruined its value.
oh, you can always put an original steering wheel
No,
back
it's
on
ruined.
it.
Ruined. It won't be numbers matching. Resin is terrible for your lungs. I did not know that.
Got to wear a respirator.
Really?
I don't know. I didn't know that. Wood frames on Morgan Roadsters. Wait a minute. I thought the wooden frames were on the. I didn't think they were on Morgans. I thought they were on. Oh, what's that other car? What's that British car? Weird looking sports car. Oh, I can't think of the name of them. Okay, somebody tell me the wooden frames. What's the British sports car that had the wooden frames for a long time, and then they eventually switched over? I didn't think it was Morgan. I used to think it was Morgan, but it wasn't.
I love the internet because we can go.
What is this? Kevin Smith, 6 points, Mike. Kevin, you're giving away points?
It says wood has been used in construction for a century and is still used in the 21st century for framing the body's shell.
What didn't we give Kevin points for?
Did we miss something,
well,
Kevin?
He says these were my points, and then Kevin says 6 points, Mike, and so Mike, can you slide up? He's going to give me points. You see that?
No, I did. I gave him a point. He got it. He called it out. He said it had flames. See, so I gave him his points.
Oh, okay.
So he said, "Yeah, give me them points." I've said it before. If you think that I missed something that I should have awarded you points for, you let me know.
No, it's not a Bristol. It was a man. What was that British car? Maybe what you can do is just look up British car wood frame, because it'll pop up.
Okay.
It was two guys that designed a sports car, and they did have wood frames for a while.
Morgan?
Maybe Morgan did, but I was thinking
Morgan. There's the Lamborghini.
The Lamborghini. Yeah, somebody made a Lamborghini out of lumber.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a Vice Grip episode. It was fantastic. The puns were just non-stop.
Kevin Smith says 6 points toward my Studebaker. You really like Studebakers. Okay, now I got to find out. I got to look this up.
The Porsche 356 was originally hand-built using a wooden frame.
Oh, like a buck.
It really looks like it's the Morgans that keep coming up.
Yeah, but that's what I used to think. So maybe it was. Oh, Gearhead got it.
What?
It's a Marcos GT.
All right, I'm going to find it.
A Marcos GT definitely had a wood frame at the beginning, and I think they finally swapped that out. But they did have. See, he needs to get points for that because that was a tough one.
All right, Gearhead. How many points? 3?
Yeah, probably. I mean, that was a tough one.
You get 3 points for finding Marcos because I was searching. I didn't find Marcos, so he found it. Nice work. Excellent.
So yeah, that's the Marcos GT.
see some images of it here, or do you want to see stuff about the?
Yeah, why not show it? I mean, it's like, why not? It's not.
Looks like a
It's not 70,
1600 cc engine, maybe.
but it.
It's a pretty cool little car. It kind of looks like an Opel a little bit.
And it actually wasn't Marcos. It was Marcos. It was. Always looked like Marcos to me.
They
but
didn't
it was,
even make this in 73. They 64 to 72 and 81 to 1990, but not.
Yeah,
Not in
I know,
73.
but it was a wood frame, and it was two guys named Mark something and Cause something, and they put the two names together, and then it became the Marcos or Marcos. Kevin Smith says Jaguar wire, yeah, Jaguar, Jaguar R Jaguar
Jaguar.
Jaguar. Yeah, I knew.
Wow.
I knew a lot of Brits, and they would pronounce it Jaguar.
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 There's some Jaguars I'd like to have, but they're probably a pain.
No.
Have I ever owned a European car? I said I'd never owned a German car, although I had a car with a German engine. I don't think I've ever even owned a European car. Oh, we got to get a Jaguar at some point. You guys get sidetracked really easily. Oh, why not? Well, I asked you questions about your Mustang. Did you say anything about your this car? Well, you've got it covered up now.
Oh, he's giving us a hard time because we're supposed to be talking about his stuff.
Mexican Spec says my next car will be a Ford Ka. Oh yeah, this thing. Do you have? Oh, that's a 351 Windsor. In this Mach 1, this.
No, they didn't have those engines in Mexico.
Whoa! What happened?
Are you doing?
I'm not doing that. It's doing it by itself.
I'm not doing it. You're doing it.
Jeez, it just took off, and there was nothing I could do. This is a picture Tavo sent in, but I was saving it until I don't know what the hell happened there. It just went through every picture I've shown tonight.
We've been hacked.
Every picture I've shown tonight.
We've been hacked.
It's like the mouse stuck or something. Look at that. It just zipped through all of them. I want to get back to the car that I was looking at.
Mexican Spec says it wasn't up there long enough for him to say anything.
Okay,
he wants his money back.
His money back?
Husqvarna made sewing machines. That's true. I think I have a Husqvarna sewing machine. No, it's not
Husky.
Husqvarna.
Oh yeah, XK. Oh man, that's one of the deals. I knew a guy that had a convertible XKE. It was an older one, but at the time it was about 10 years old, and it was green, and the interior it needed work, but it ran, and he wanted $900 for it. And at the time, that seemed like a lot of money for me, and I just didn't have the money, but I kind of liked the car, and somebody else got it. Looking back on it, I'm like, man, I should have done whatever it took to get that. What are you doing?
I don't know. I clicked something.
You clicked something and there's something covering up. Okay, so anyway.
Kenneth Brackett said, did you know Lamborghini made farm tractors?
I sure do. And you know why we know that? Or one of the reasons why we know it. What was his name with the farm?
Clarkson's Farm.
Clarkson's Farm, and you can find that if you're a Amazon Prime member. And it was a year-long show, and we watched every episode for the first year. We got to watch the second episode or second year. But he, from Top Gear, he bought a farm, and he decided to be a farmer. He needed a tractor, so he looked at a couple of tractors, but then he went out and bought this giant Lamborghini tractor. It's like, you sure that's big enough? Oh, man. These Mexican Mustangs run strong with the no smog 351 Windsor. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was. Oh, Kim, I got. Huh. Sean O'Brien, I love Clarkson's Farm. Yeah, that's a great thing. Clarkson's Farm, we sat there and watched that. It was just really a good thing. Garrett, small taillights or taller ones? Not sure what that's about. Dumpster Wolverine Garage. I love German cars. My next one will be a 84 300 SD. A diesel. Oh no. I don't like diesels. So the best engine ever built and the longest living chassis built, W123 chassis, 79 to 86. Yeah, I don't know. Mercedes, I liked. I don't even know what it was. It was a little two-seat sports car from probably the 70s, maybe 60s. And the center of the roof went down like this. I don't know. Does anybody know what that is? Probably like about I don't know what year that was. But it was, I kind of like the looks of those. Sean O'Brien says his halo ring for piglets is genius. Let's just say with Marcos. Jim Marsh, Frank Costin. Yeah, I knew it was two guys, and I didn't remember where the Mar and the Cos came from, but I always thought it was Marcos GT till I found out who it was that did that. Okay, what is going on here? Got way too many things open. Don't know why. Back to my email. Oh, here we go. Everybody talks about this. 1973. The Gremlins with the Levi jean interior. Yeah, Mexican spec. I bet it was an SL. I just don't know what year it was. Late 60s Pagoda Mercedes. That year Mustang is humongous, almost Torino size, and it sits too high. They were big cars. Dougster says, like what Richard Gere drove in American Gigolo. Dougster says 300 SL. It very well could have been a 300 SL. Sounds right. Kevin Smith, I had a banana and then yellow. 73 LTD. My daughter called it Mona for some reason. Good name for a car. Mona.
Oh, there's the downside to a gull-wing car.
Yeah, but
it's hard to make into a convertible.
That's not the one I like. I like the newer one than that. Just look up like 1969 maybe. I'm guessing at the year. Okay, the one off to the far right. Okay, so it's a 280 SLC. Okay, it's the red one right there. See how the top dips down in the middle and it's kind of boxy little thing? I really like the looks of those. Somehow it ended up way over there. Ah, that's how. Yeah, those things. I think that's a good looking car. But Lester LeSabre says 280 SL. That's a 280 SL. Yeah, that's the one I think is really good. Ads. We got ads.
I don't care.
You don't care? You're going to talk through the ads?
I'm talking right through the ads. I'm going to say the most important part of the whole show during this ad
Don't
break.
do that. None of us have any control over it. They don't have any control over it.
It doesn't look that much different.
You know, there was a kit. There was a fiberglass kit you could buy for the Fox Body Mustangs that made it look like this.
That's stupid. Just buy the car you want. I can't make it look like a completely different car.
Are you hot? You're hot? Go splash some water on your face or something. Belong pure, unattainable there.
I cannot splash water on my face. You know why?
Arians parts commercial? Metro Toyota dealers ad? Mack truck? A Mack truck ad? Or Mack truck has something to do with it? Hip belong. Amazon ad. Funny you mentioned Amazon.
We order a lot of stuff from Amazon. Why is that up there?
Oh, why is that up there? Can everybody see that?
No,
I don't
they
know.
can't see.
There's like
It's
a
just
big
on ours.
there's a giant
Quit
menu.
talking about it.
Giant menu on our screen. Okay, let's see that 450 SL. It's a nice looking car. Mike N says you guys are sweating the ads too much. We can rewind very easily. Well, it's not that we're sweating. It's just like it just gives us something to do. you know, the 190 has always been cool too to me. Doug's Wolverine Garage. Yes, that's a 450. They have V8, that single overhead cam, and funky fuel injection system. Yeah, I remember those. I don't know. If I was going to get a German car, I'd get a half German car. I'd like to get a Beetle chassis with a Myers Manx dune buggy body on it. I think that'd be cool. Oh, Tammy,
I wouldn't like that at all.
Tommy Hamlin, you wouldn't like that?
No.
Really?
No. Why would you want a little air cooled engine, rear wheel drive,
Oh, those are so fun to drive.
antique drivetrain?
They're fun to drive.
It wouldn't be fun at all. It would be fun if we had property to play with it.
Well,
but we don't.
you know where I drove around, like out in Arizona, where they allow everything on the street. You can drive just about anything that can be driven on the
Oh
street.
man, there's a cookie in the bottom of my
There's a
coffee
cookie in the
cup.
bottom of it.
I wonder how that got there. Old speed buggy. That's right. Room zoom zoom.
Yeah, I don't know. European car, what would I want? What would I want? Jaguar.
Raw Dog asks, John Deere tractors or Ford tractors?
I'm trying to think what those Jaguars are like.
I don't know. Raw Dog, I gotta say that actual commercial, industrial, farm type tractors, I have no experience with a John Deere. I have fiddled the smallest amount on Fords, but they were old Fords. I don't know. I don't know. I think they're both pretty good machines. They knew how to build they built them for so long. They really until they got all electronic and GPS controlled with them, they were fantastic machines and then they had to change because that's what they believed the market needed. I don't know.
Kevin Smith points with no value. I was looking forward to that Studebaker.
I didn't. Nobody said there's no value. We just have not determined it exactly. It's like how much is Bitcoin worth? How much is Bitcoin worth?
Well,
How much is it worth?
you already put a price on the Subaru.
Yeah,
Nobody
and a
seems to want
toaster.
that.
4-slice chrome toaster oven.
Let's just say we're
What would
buff.
you
You know the
pay?
German car you want, an Opel Manta. Yeah, no kidding. I forgot about that.
There
Opel
you go.
Manta. I'd
See,
love to have an Opel Manta. But I've looked at them, and I've looked at ones for sale, and you can imagine what they look like in Tennessee. They're parked somewhere with bushes growing up through them, through all the rust holes. They're just so old now, and people didn't have respect for them, and so, not many of them around here.
hippie long. John Deere forces their maintenance. Yeah, closed source on farm equipment is just like, oh man, really? Got to pay a monthly subscription to heated seats in our John Deere tractor, you know? Next, they'll have air conditioning you have to pay a subscription for. It's just like, when does it end? Come on. Really? $1 million tractor? Can't you just build something that works? But, I don't know. I don't know. This is the way the world is. I don't know. What do I know? Look how successful I am. I really can't tell people how to do things because they know how to make the most money. And that's what their job is to do, is to make the most money. Build some big complicated thing with planned obsolescence. It's what gets them rich in this sales quarter is all they care about. Bypass the subscription. Well, there's the problem. If you do anything to mess with it, to bypass the subscription, you void the entire warranty. So, at some point, yeah, it's worth just bypassing all that garbage. But until then, you can't do that when you've got payments for the next 10 years on a piece of major equipment. Or when you can only get parts from the dealer and they won't deal with you because you voided your warranty.
Yeah, I know there's a big problem with John Deere right now.
Yeah.
Do you want to put up something funny? I showed this before, but I think it's funny. So
probably the people who are running John Deere today probably are trying to clean up the mess from the people who designed it that way. And I don't know. I don't know. The development costs of those things are probably.
This will get everybody upset.
Why are you digging this up? This is not a 1973. Get this off the screen.
Get it off the screen.
Get it off the screen. Why are you even bringing this up?
Because I think it's just something to get people upset.
No, I don't want to.
I'm upset. Get it off the screen. If you want a Dodge Charger,
get it off the screen. I don't want to see it. Go buy Mahindra. All right.
Mahindra.
If I had a farm and I was buying equipment, I would be asking people. I would definitely be asking people what should I buy? And when people told me what was going on with John Deere, I would never buy one from them, And then the company is gonna suffer and they're gonna cry, but whose fault is it? That's. Don't tell me they didn't think that they were gonna gotcha a bunch of people and rape them for money, because that was their plan all along. As bad as the Bud Light debacle, I don't really understand the Bud Light debacle. I don't even really want to talk about that either. I don't drink beer. I don't care nothing about beer. They buy a different brand. Exactly. Buy a different brand. Buy from a company that treats its customers respectfully. Respectfully.
Okay. Just because Mexican Spec sent in a lot of stuff.
There you go. Show the pictures that are.
And then if Tavo comes in here, I'll go to Tavo's stuff, which is up here.
Send the pictures from the people who send stuff in.
I don't know.
Putting up that ugly Charger thing.
So, I think this is that's huge. There you go.
Boy, is that little and cute.
Oh yeah, look at the license plate. What year is this? This 73? Probably is a 73. What does that say on it? Nuevo Leon. I have a Nuevo Leon license plate, remember?
Do you? Oh, did Mexican Spec? Is that one of the ones?
That's one of the ones Mexican Spec sent to me.
A wedding thing. Beach cruiser. That would be a fun vehicle.
Kuba wagon. Yeah, the Kuba wagon's kind of what this was designed off of. Kuba wagon was a World War II, like the German Jeep. Complete with flowers. Yeah. Do you get the flowers? Yeah, Mexican Spec. Did you guys have Carmen Gias down there? I don't know if they had those in Mexico. Yeah, the thing was, it was the Kuba wagon in World War II. It looked very, very similar to the thing. Yeah, Carmen Gia. Man, I like those. Oops, there you go. Carmen Gia. That's a Volkswagen Beetle underneath, but it's a different car up above. Actually made the Beetle a fun car to drive, because I didn't really like driving Beetles around.
Really? What made it more fun?
These, it felt good because you sat down low, drove like a sports car, and Mexican Spec says, no, they were not sold there. That's too bad.
When I was a kid, I really liked the Beatles. I thought they were so cool. But as an adult, it just doesn't carry. It doesn't translate. Like I like the appearance, and the new ones I kind of like the appearance, but I don't know that I would like to drive one. They're so little. I can't imagine being out in traffic in that little thing. You just get run over.
See, Hippie One says no foot room in the Carmen Gia. And see, I didn't even think of that because I'm 5'7" and my legs are kind of short. So I just don't even notice it. My 87 Corvette, I noticed it is really tight down in there.
Why do
So
they
if
got
I
all
notice
these light bulbs?
light bulbs, I don't know.
They
For
just
67 Volkswagen, I don't know what the
Google's
heck.
just trying to inject ad. More advertisements.
What was that thing? Go back a little bit. That thing looks like a Pinto or whatever is behind you. What is that's not a Pinto. What is that thing? I don't know what that is.
It's a Gia.
Oh, that's a Gia without the Carmen. Okay. Gias are nice little roadsters. You know, we were coming back to the grocery store one day, and I said to Kim, "Hey, look at that!" And there was a Carmen Gia passing us, and it was 4 lanes, you know, so it wasn't really passing as fast. It was just like driving along next to us, kind of, and we were looking at it, coughing on 4 wheels.
Something.
Opel GT. Something went wrong. Oh, here we are. We're in Mexican spec site. Oh, what happened?
I left Mexican spec site. We're
Oh.
not on Instagram right now. I just
Okay.
was getting rid of that Carmen Gia.
Ah, Kevin Smith. My neighbor got hit head on in her Beetle. Oh my God. Took a lot of plastic surgery to put her back together. What hit her?
Ooh.
Couldn't have been anything too big, because if it was anything real big, it would have been worse. Man. Yeah, Beetles are not, they're not crash worthy.
No.
Of course, when the Beetle was designed, that's all there was, you know, so before anybody even thought of safety.
Well, there wasn't 5,000-6,000 pound sedans on the road back then either.
Like
Whereas now just
pickup
basic
trucks.
cars weigh 5,000-6,000 pounds.
Pickup trucks that are over 8,000 pounds, and a semi.
Oh man,
Wait a minute.
lucky to be alive. That's horrible. Cement truck?
A cement truck hit a Beetle head on?
Wow. I'm so sorry.
That couldn't have been good.
I need a minute. I don't feel well.
I can tell you're.
I think I've been eating too much junk food. Cars were heavy in 1949. That's true. They were full frame cars.
The reason I said that about the Beetle,
steel was thick.
the Beetle didn't get. There were only 2 imported to the U.S. in '49. Prior to that, it was just a German car. You know, that was the German car. So it was. I guess you know the leadership there. You remember who that guy was? He had those giant Mercedes or whatever they were with 3 axles. You know, 2 axles in the back, but most Germans had small cars. Kevin Smith, I just ate 4 cupcakes, and you look like you have a green face. Man, that sounds so good. I miss the sweets. Man, I miss the sweets. Oh, that was a 540K, that thing with a big 6-wheel thing. Used to see him on Hogan's Heroes. A general would come in that big 6-wheel giant car. Crazy looking thing. Yeah, that must have been a little rough on gas. Probably good for about 2 miles a gallon. But they were watertight, so if you drove off a bridge, VW Bug's a great car, except when you hit. The where I lived, we had a big old flood in California in 1973, and the guy next door to the radiator shop had a Volkswagen repair shop, and he had these Volkswagens in there. And so what he did is just slid the door down, and you know, every car in the parking lot, just the water came in, and they just sat there in the parking lot, the top of the car sticking up out of the water. And his Volkswagen shop, he kept the door shut because all the Volkswagens are floating around inside the shop. They didn't sink. What the hell, Tommy? What are you talking about? Oh, watertight. Yeah, they were water. Absolutely, they were watertight. They floated. Kevin Smith says a half track. Yeah, they look kind of like a half track, except there were wheels back there. Again, very interesting but stupid. What's that? Very interesting but stupid. What's that? What's that? Mexican spec. I try not to drive off a bridge, though. Man, my uncle, when I was a kid, my uncle drove off a bridge. What happened was he had a Corvair, and he went over some road in Pennsylvania, and it was raining like hell. And when he came back through, he, young guy going like crazy, and the bridge had washed out, and he didn't see it until he was almost there. Got on the brakes, ended up going in the water with it. Gearhead. Hogan's Heroes. Mike N's going, anyone? I don't know what happened. What happened here? First VW Beetles assembled outside Germany were assembled in Dublin, Ireland. Really? Raw Dog Willis, MB. Mexican Spec says about 15 or 20 years ago, I saw a Fairmont floating down the street here in a flood. Oh, so that was sealed up enough. Lester Saber. The joke had that Teddy Kennedy should have driven a Beetle. Oh, geez. Yeah. Mike and Rowan and Martin's laughing. Man, I remember that real well. Say goodnight, Dick. Good night, Dick. And now I say it to Kim. Say goodnight, Kim. And she goes, good night, Kim. And she'd never even seen that before. Mercury 8. Yeah, Chappaquiddick. Yeah. Oh, Artie Johnson. Yeah. Kevin Smith. Lester, she would have lived to tell, though. Yeah. Okay, Mike says I quoted laughing, but no one got it. Okay, I missed that then, because I didn't get it. Kevin Smith says they all float till they don't. Good night, Gracie. Oh, yeah, good night, Gracie. Lester Saber, that wasn't my Fairmont, was it? Hippie Long, it's Sakatumi time. Yeah, remember that? Sakatumi, Sakatumi. If any of you are that old, I remember it. No, Farley. Yours was still in Durango. Farley. It's Lester LeSabre. But now you're calling him Farley Fairmont or something? You were calling Fred Fairmont. I thought Freddie Fairmont sounded good, but now you mean Farley. I don't know. Lester LeSabre. Lester LeSabre's going Fox Body. But I think maybe he has Fox Bodies already. Not sure. Okay, I got to bring up more pictures. Let's see what I've got. I don't know. I think I just what the heck is Tavo? Tavo sent this. Obviously Australian. The look, that Ranchero looks shorter than ours, but I'm not sure. You know, and the wipers are backwards and the driver's on the right side. Yes, Bub, but the man has a right to choose his own nickname. Mike Ken, I'm in my 40s, but used to watch Nick at Night. Oh, I see. Lester Saber had a 79 Zephyr. You had a 79 Zephyr. That's pretty cool. I think my wagon was a 79. I think it was a 79 Zephyr that I had. Could have been an 80. And I remember it was a light blue station wagon. So I've had two Zephyrs. I've had that wagon, and I've had this this current one I have. Lester's brother, a Buick. Gearhead after the late great Chris Farley. And Mexican specs a small door on the Ranchero, not in the U.S. Yeah, it looks shorter, and it does look like the front door on a four door, which is how their A-body Chryslers look. The Utes look in Australia. The Chryslers have a short door. Yeah, it's shorter in the door. I don't think that pickup bed's as long. That might be the pickup bed's as long. I don't know. The whole thing is short. Tavo, you just got here, and I'm showing your cars. Wow, that was good timing. We were discussing the length of that Ute. It's shorter than the ones in the U.S., and we noticed that the doors are short, like a four door. But I also think the bed might be shorter. I'm not sure. And you sent two pictures. Whoops, I didn't do that right. There's the other picture. Oh, no bumper in the back. Yeah, I bet the bed is the same size, but it's shorter up in the front where the door is, I think. Yeah, Alice says I like the coupe length door. It makes it easy to put things behind the seat. I can see myself getting a leg cramp and destroying the interior to get out. Okay, now I got a warning. That says it says 1 minute to a commercial. So we're gonna do that again. Next inspect. Buff has more of mine to show. There's a gorgeous black car still. Okay. Tavo, standard four-door sedan front door on those. The whole thing is the same length as a sedan. Okay. I think that's shorter than the Rancheros here. What did they call that? What did they call that body style? And I know they're Utes, but was there a name for that car? Mike Kent says, "Where is this taken? South Carolina? It's taken in Australia, South Australia." Kevin Smith says, "I will send pics of my Oldsmobile wagon if you ever do a '95 show, or just send them in. I'll show them." We're not just limiting it to 1 year, but it's like if you want to send in some pictures of things, so yeah, we're doing 73, but if you got something else, heck yeah, I'll show it. Kevin says it's a Falcon, and also okay, probably a Falcon Ute, and that's what Tavo says, Falcon Ute. A shipped commercial, TikTok. So there's 2 points each for you. Mexican spec. Tavo, look at how the door overlaps with the quarter. That must have a sharp edge there. I'm going to go back the other way and see if I can see that.
Crash Road Runner Garage got a Temu ad. You get 2 points. Everyone who's told us about their ads gets 2 points. That's how the points work here.
This is interesting. Hippie Long says, and I know it's a typo, but I'm going to read it anyway. Rancheros and El Casinos were made on a wagon chassis. And everybody means El Caminos, but I think El Casino is a pretty good name for a car. You have to have a slot machine in there. Let's see. TikTok is advertising? Yeah, amazing.
Why
It's
do
the
they have
pocket
to
updates.
advertise?
I don't know.
I guess we'll take their money.
Yeah, I guess Max Timo was doing pop-ups during the last live. Wow.
Pop-ups. I guess on mobile. I don't know.
Tom, I'm not sure if it's a 68 with 67 taillights or a 67 with 68 grill. That's just a cool car. I mean, it's in such nice shape, and I think you said you just saw it and took a picture of it, which is pretty good. You grabbed some pictures while you had a chance, and now we're looking at them pretty good. And that's a clean looking car. Hippie long, no commercials there. Raw Dog watching Milwaukee Bucks and Indiana Pacers. Okay. Mexican Spec, what does a Timu ad say? Buy our cheap crap that will last no more than a week. Lester the Saber, the radio antenna is even on the opposite side. It is. Wipers go the wrong way, steering wheel's on the wrong side, antenna's on the wrong side, and the fuel filler's over here. And the fuel filler on ours is way back, I think. It is a different car. It's got a lot of similar stuff. Oh, and it's got hood pins. That's probably aftermarket. You know, I suppose there was probably chrome strip down the side or something that's gone. Kevin Smith, 2 points closer to my Studebaker. Yeah, you live in Australia, you kind of just like your whole life is a mirror image. I guess unless you grew up there. Now, when I was in England, it was like that. I really had to think when I was driving. I was always kind of concerned that if I ended up some conflict, I'd turn the wrong way and we'd turn into each other. But I really didn't have any problem with it. I learned to drive on the left side of the road pretty quickly over there, but it was still a little weird. The weirdest thing was the rear view mirrors. The outside one was down low and the inside one was up high, and I don't know why that kind of messed with me a little bit, but I got used to it. Why they advertise for? I always wondered why they advertise for toilet paper. Everyone uses it. The one that gets me is when I see ads like for the electric company or somebody there's no competition. Like everybody has to have electricity. Everybody's got to go to the same company. Why do they advertise? you know. Let's see here. I always wanted to take an Volkswagen and make a 442 El Camino and put windowed roof on the van. And I just saw somewhere on YouTube or somewhere online. It was an old 442 front end on an El Camino. It matched up on the sides just perfectly. Looked pretty cool. Man, well, I'm trying to think where I saw that, but it was just like in the last few days I saw it. Vista roof. Yeah, that's Kim's favorite roof, I think, is a Vista
Waste
Cruiser.
nothing.
Huh?
Waste nothing.
A Vista Cruiser roof.
Do
Yeah,
a body swap and then put the body on the other frame. The whole thing. Don't waste anything.
See, the Vista Cruiser, that was the same body as a Chevelle. So I think that top you could probably graft that right onto a Chevelle wagon. I don't know. I always like those Vista Cruisers, but they're the same thing. There's so few of them now. I remember in the 70s, people would take those tops and put them on vans because they look pretty good. You know, good body. Somebody who's good with body work would do that. It looked pretty nice.
Tommy Hanlon says, I'm not getting any ads. How does YouTube know I'm so broke? It's not that they know you're broke. You're in the wrong region. The advertisers are not paying to advertise in your region because people in your region do not spend enough for their advertisers, or their advertisers only want to advertise in certain places. I'll bet you that's what it is.
Tim says, so to drive one of those here, do you have to drive around in reverse? Or just learn to be on the wrong side of the road, or be on the right side of the road on the wrong side of the car or something. I don't know. It is legal here. It's legal in the U.S. to drive on a right-hand drive car.
Just sit upside down, and then everything will seem
Sit
correct.
upside down. Yeah.
Yes.
No. No. If anybody remembers that. I got a bag of assorted Mexican candies. Back one of my items is plastic spoon. What it looks like red Play-Doh. What? Um, Kim Smith had a van with the Vista Cruiser roof. Oh, so somebody did that. You had one of those that somebody did that. It leaked like crazy, and I didn't get it quite right. Uh, I'd never seen one of those leak, but not on a van, on the original thing. Mexican spec, that is probably tamarindo. I don't get it either. Not very hygienic. Gearhead, I always thought a T-top going looked good on a 72 C10. The only thing I don't like about goings is you ever flip that thing over and you're on your top, you're going to have a hard time getting out of the car. And I've thought about that. Like what do you call them? Yeah, any one of them. Bricklin or a Bricklin, because I thought about buying a Bricklin one time. I thought, man, if I ever roll that thing over, I'm trapped in that thing.
Vintage Adventurer says I came back to a Claritin ad. It knows I live in Oklahoma and we all have allergies here. Yeah, I believe it. Well, the wind, Anyways, you get 2 points for calling out Claritin. I don't remember. I've taken Claritin for allergies before. I don't know. I guess it's good for allergies. Itchy, watery eyes. Thank you, Claritin, for sponsoring our streaming time.
Chris,
it allows us to come to you through the internet, the magical internet. It's expensive to run an internet, and they have to do it somehow, so they advertise. That's how it works.
Chris says Google and K Jewelers. Tommy Hanlon says you're not complaining. Well, you could be. Maybe you're YouTube Premium? Then you won't get ads. They were even flushed their toilet
YouTube
wrong.
Like
their toilet's flushed backwards.
That makes sense. Reverse rotational. Is it reversed though, or are we reversed?
What is this? I'm looking at pictures people send in.
Like, do our clocks really rotate clockwise, or are they all rotating counterclockwise all the time, and we just didn't know?
Yeah, your clocks don't go backwards down there, do they? Yeah, Patrick Sullivan says, kick the windshield out, man. Yeah, if you could imagine trying to get your legs up around the dashboard, Of course, you might be, who knows what position you'd be in the car. Man, one time I was riding with some people, and it was nighttime, and it was out in the country in California in the hills. And we're coming around a corner, a right turn. I'm in the back of a van, so I can't really see what happened. And both people up front went, "Oh, that car just came out, went off the edge of the road." And I'm like, "Where?" And they stopped, and I get out. I go, and then I see the road comes around. There's no guardrail, and it had gone off. It was a pickup truck. So, man, I'm down the hill, and it's dark, and I'm just trying not to trip on stuff. And I get down there, and there's a Dodge pickup, and it's upside down. Like about a late '60s Dodge van or Dodge pickup. There's a guy in there, and he's yelling, he's screaming, "I killed my friends! I killed my friends!" And I'm like, how many people are in here? How many people? And I'd come up on the driver's side. It's upside down. So I'm on the right side of it, but it's left-hand drive, because it's upside down. He's on the right side. So he's going, get my seatbelt on. So I'm trying to get his seatbelt undone. And I get it on. Then he falls onto the roof. And I go, how many people are in here? Who else is in here? Oh, and I can't see anything because it's dark. And he finally goes, the guy's drunk. And he goes, I think I dropped him off. I said, you can't remember if you dropped your friends off or not? He goes, I think I dropped them off. Well, and I'm all wet. I don't know why I'm wet. So I climb back up the hill, and by then there's a fire truck there and police, and they lit everything up. Man, I got blood all over me from this guy. And the fire department's really concerned with me because that was back when the whole AIDS thing was all blown out of proportion. And they were washing me down with the fire hose, trying to get the blood all off me. You got any cuts? You got any sores? You got anything, Did you get any of that? Where's the blood? And all this. And it was like, man. But I remember undoing the guy's seatbelt, and he fell out of it. And he was able to crawl out after that. So I don't remember how he got his feet past the dashboard. And I hope I'm never upside down in a car. The only thing that got me in England, Tim says, the only got him in England was making turns. I had to make sure I turned in the correct lane. What I liked in England was all the roundabouts, so I learned to drive roundabouts. going to the left. And what I like about the roundabouts in England is like a screw. You go in and there's lanes, and you pick the lanes that exit where the road that you want to get off on. So by the time you get around there, you're in the far left, and it's really easy to get around the to exit. And in the U.S., when they made some roundabouts, they've completely missed that. They missed the whole thing that it's like a screw. As you go around, you end up working your way to the outside of the roundabout, so you're in the correct lane to make the exit. England, they really did it right. And then when I got back to the U.S., it's like, I'm first roundabout, I want to turn to the left. Now you can't do that, you know. So I knew better, you know, but I kind of like the roundabouts in England.
Olive said that sometimes she uses Claritin and it works real good for her, but some people it does nothing for. Yeah, that's the thing with allergy medicine is you have to see what works good for you. So if you've never tried Claritin, very low of incidence of side effects. I think Claritin is supposed to not bother you. It doesn't put you to sleep like Benadryl does, but for some people it doesn't help either. So got to try it or
Mexican
not.
spec says
Sorry, back to things.
swept line. I don't know what that's in
Swept
reference
line?
to, because I got talking about something.
I don't know.
I got talking about some stupid crash. Can you
Telling
make
a
that?
bloody crash story.
Can you zoom that in a little bit? I just remember the fire department was more concerned with me than the guy that was.
Then the drunk.
But yeah, the drunk. The drunk actually ended up getting an ambulance and going somewhere. Again, I was a cop when I was 21. I was chasing a guy who ditched his car in the dark across a cane field. There was a ditch. I didn't see it. Oh, yeah. My father in World War II, he was in New Guinea, and he was in the Navy, and he was fighting a fire, and he's carrying a fire hose. Yeah, same thing, tall grass. He didn't see the ditch and went in and broke his arm. You know, I hate that when you can't see something. It's a surprise. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, this is another one. Buddy Carfano sent in 73.
Boy, that is a behemoth.
Those are big cars, but they're nice to drive. I mean, it's big C-body Chrysler. You know, I've had at least one. I had a 72 Polara C-body. Maybe that was it. But I really like the C-body Chryslers. They're nice cruisers. Go down the road.
A Chrysler. It's as big as a whale, and it's about to set sail.
Yeah, that's expect. At least it wasn't your own car. Yeah, that's what I thought. Mike N. I thought he was chasing him on foot. He jumped out of his car and ran on foot. I had a friend that was a cop. I ended up working with him years later in the whole test site I worked at. But he was a cop in he was deputy sheriff in South Carolina. I think that's where he's from. And the call came out. A guy in a Walmart had just stolen a TV set. And the call went to somebody else, but he goes, crap, I was right there. So I pulled in the parking lot and I took the call. And he says, I see this little skinny meth head running across the parking lot with a 55-inch TV. So he goes, hey, jump out. And I start chasing him. He goes, this guy could run. He just run and run and run and run. He goes, I had a hell of a time catching him. Couldn't catch him. So he finally got back in his car and chased him in his car. Caught up to him that way. He goes, man, I was winded. He goes, I learned something that day. Somebody's running from you on foot. Chase him with your car. Don't run after him. Yeah, that was pretty funny. What is a late 60s Dodge pickup? Answer, swept line. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's the ones that had the, yeah, okay, I know, the ones that were not step sides.
Sweeping lines.
Yeah. Well, there was the 50s. What was a 50s one that was the swept line? It had I think that's what it was, had those fins on the back of the pickup truck with fins.
Yeah, land yacht. That's right.
Maybe when I found a guy who hit an Amish horse. Peeled the roof off of the car and broke his seat, putting him in the back seat. Oh God! Yeah, there was somebody in our town hit a horse and it came through the windshield, killed the guy.
You hit a donkey, although that don't tell that story again.
I hit a donkey with a van. So,
It's
it
not
bent,
quite as bad. Yeah, you
bent
were in a
some,
van. That's a little
it
different.
bent some stuff in the front of the van, but we never found the donkey. He wandered off in the desert somewhere. It was at night. Well, I really got slowed down. I scrubbed a lot of speed off before I hit him, and I steered to the right, and he just stopped, and I caught his butt. If he'd kept walking, I wouldn't have hit him. But
Alt
he
doesn't
stopped.
like the big town and country nose on that one. Yeah, it's got the aerodynamics of a brick
You had to imagine that thing
with a
going like,
sail on it.
imagine that thing going 65 or 70 miles an hour. It just sit there, and the wind would have to get out of the way. The thing is so big and heavy. Uh, you need a captain's license to fly that liner. Oh, Taos says sea bodies down here had to register for their own postcode. Yeah, I don't know. Those things are nice to drive, though. Remember, that's what I said I want to do with that 318 Poly is find a sea body Chrysler, but probably a little older than that. I want to protect their huge swept side. I could have had a 57 swept side for $50 when I was 14, but my mom said no. Yeah, parents said no a lot of times when I wanted stuff that I probably wasn't old enough to get it.
I remember buying a car for $50 when I was a kid, as a teenager.
What's the cheapest car you ever bought?
Probably $50.
$50.
Yeah.
I bought a car for $7.50. It was a 56 Ford, had no engine, no interior in it.
Wow.
My sister looked in it. My sister was like 13 then. I was 16. She looked in it. She goes, "There's no chairs." I remember that. There's no chairs. But I had 56 Fords and parts and stuff everywhere, so I had chairs.
Lester LeSabre that says that toilets in the southern hemisphere do not swim in reverse. According to Scientific America, the Coriolis effect is not that strong. It is more influenced by the toilet design. Yes, but a good toilet design would account for southern hemispherical spin and would point the jets the other way, and then it would flush better.
Okay, I want to do an experiment.
But you can force it to
I have
flush
heard
in the wrong
this.
direction.
I have heard this so much. Tavo, can you participate in an experiment? I'm sure you have a toilet. Can you take a video and just nothing in the toilet, just clear water, and flush it? And I want to see which way it turns. And I'll do the same thing. I'm as far north of the equator
You're
as you
not
are
allowed to
south.
take video of our dirty bathroom.
And we'll
No.
see which way it goes. The toilet isn't that dirty. I think it would be interesting because I know somebody on YouTube did it, and they just walked across the equator and they did it and turned the other way, but that was BS because it wouldn't do that. I was wondering on the equator if it goes down straight. No, I bet it still swirls. So I don't know.
You could force water to spin in one direction or the other. It doesn't matter where you are.
If you shot but like when we flush the toilet, the water comes straight down and it doesn't swirl till it gets down in there a ways. So I don't know.
A lot of toilets don't swirl anymore because they flush very directly.
Oh, they go.
And they have that jet down in the bottom of the bowl that just push it. They just go swoosh. They don't go whoa anymore.
Have you been in any of the hotels that have
too much water?
That big old thing in the tank that's pressurized? And when you flush it, it just goes, and it's gone.
Blasts water all over the walls.
It doesn't swirl. It doesn't have a chance to swirl.
It ought to have a latch on the lids so it doesn't blast open and shoot water everywhere.
Kevin Smith, I bought a lot of cars for $50 in the 70s. I bought one for $7.50, but what it was that 56 Ford, and it had an engine in it, and two of us bought it. One guy wanted the engine, and I wanted the car, and it was $15, and we split it, so that's why it was $7.50. And other than that, cheapest ones I bought were probably, man, I bought another 56 Ford from a dealer that had a broken engine in it for, I think I paid $30 for it. It was at a Cadillac dealership. I think they just they probably thought they're going to take it to the junkyard, but I bought it. And then there were a few others that were $100, you know.
People are calling out their screaming deals. Wow. Vince's Adventurado says he bought his first car was a 73 Pinto and then a 74 Scamp. You like the old ones. Nice. Hippie Long paid $400 for a Volvo 242. That sounds like fun. See, a lot depends on condition.
Condition and wind. Yeah.
I've bought some that car that I paid $50 for. It was a Toyota Celica, but it was like a 77, 78. The front, it was all primer black with bright green wheels and emblems, stuff like that. Somebody had, spray bombed the whole car. The windshield was kicked in, and the front fenders were completely made out of tiger hair. And when I say completely, I mean smashed in and rutted out and smashed in. And then just a whole gallon of tiger hair just hand molded into the shape of the fenders. You know what I mean? It was bad. And then the starter was, the key switch was messed up in the column. And so the starter ran and ran and ran and ran and ran and wouldn't shut off. So the starter was cooked. Like as cooked as I've never seen a starter cooked as bad. Like when all the insulation burns off and you could just smell the burn. So I paid $50 for it. I don't know. I don't know if I ever got that engine to run or not. I think eventually that car just went to the junkyard like it was. So, but I mean, like, who's saying there? JB says he bought a 66 Impala, fixed a spindle, and then drove it, and then sold it for $2,500. So a lot of you are smarter than me.
Kevin Smith. Oh, here we go with ads again. Going to interrupt me with ads. I'll wait it 15
but
seconds.
But $50 in the 70s was what? 500 now?
I'm almost there with that, but I'm going to give the ads another few seconds. Okay, and I looked up $7.50, cheapest I ever paid for a car. In 1970, that's like $60.74 today. So
that's the $50 car.
Yeah, so, and we split it. It was actually a $15 car, so that's like paying $120 for some piece of junk. And it was an old piece of junk, actually. Oops, I went the wrong way. Yeah, that was a very unusual deal. Tavo, I bought 363 Valiants as a package deal for $50 each back in the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah, something happened there. Yeah, we're gonna have to skip some chats because we're like way far behind.
Mike, your horse story is traumatizing. I'm not reading it. Tavo says it doesn't turn in any direction, it just goes down.
Doesn't turn in any, really? Saber, I want a blaster toilet for the sound. Yeah, have you ever heard those, man? Like they have them in some hotels now, and it's just, my God, is that thing noisy? The first time I flushed one, it was like, whoa! Thought I woke up everybody in a hotel.
Kevin Smith bought a 66 Sport Fury 3 for $50. It needed a spring in the shifter, and then he drove that car for years. Man!
Yeah, don't read that. The Saber, cool name.
Welcome to Stream 6th Street Garage.
Kevin Smith says, Lester, any relatives named Buick?
I might have missed some, but we're just gonna go from here now. My cheapest was 2 Ford Perfects. Guy just wanted them gone. So free. Built a running driver out of the pair. Building 1 from 2. The ultimate car hoarder's dream.
Kevin Smith.
Well done.
Uber Eats ad.
You get 2 points.
Vintage.
Uber Eats.
Second Granger ad of the night.
Oh, Granger supports us a lot.
Kevin Smith
2
says
points.
20 points. What's 20 points for?
I don't know. I guess he's been saving them up.
Oh, maybe that's how many points you have now. Gearhead, next 40 robot puppies again. Wow.
Oh, my. Gearhead, you get 2 points. I guess get your robot puppies now.
Mexican Spec wants me to show more pictures because he's falling asleep.
Oh, man. Mexican Spec, just go take a nap. You don't have to stay.
Okay.
Harsh.
I'm sorry. I'm
Can
reading.
you believe?
I'm reading stuff
Show
instead
more
of.
of my pictures
Okay,
or I'm
here we
gonna
got
fall
a
asleep.
rare Canadian Ford Cortina Mark III Estate. That sounds like a British name. It's kind of long. That's from Buddy Carfano. Mex, the snappy chat isn't keeping him awake.
Yeah.
Nobody else shows pictures but us. Now I know why everybody falls asleep. Yeah, put up one picture. Hey, I got a question.
Oh, Mexican Spec is worn out from working all day. I thought you were just being really super critical, Mexican Spec. Like, damn, I was about to time you out.
73. Here we go. Another one from Buddy Carfano.
What on earth is
73.
that thing?
It's a British Transit Mark One, but it's sort of customized.
Dang.
The
don't
devil.
know.
The devil. I guess. Yeah, it's an odd one. And then let's see.
Buff, pass. Hippie long. Yeah, we excuse you. That's a long.
There was
day.
something else I was gonna comment on, but now I got called on not keeping up with my job, so I'm trying to keep up with it. Oh, Tavo says that was a Cortina TC down here because our two-letter designations. Yeah, the two-letter designations really, I don't completely understand them yet, but I'm trying to, and maybe I will. I was just gonna ask for something, and somebody read my mind, and it's Buddy Carfano. And I scrolled up, and there it was. I was going to ask, about when was it the Brady Bunch was on TV? I'm thinking that was, 73, 70, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73.
Yeah.
I was going to ask what kind of cars they drove. But Buddy Carfano, oh, geez. Oh, yeah. The truth behind the Barracuda convertible. I don't know what that is. Yeah, remember he used to drive that. And then they had an accident with one car. I remember that. But so I guess
was
that
it Jan or was it Marcia?
Yeah, might have been what was
Marcia,
what was the oldest boy's name?
The oldest boy. Oh, that's a good question for Chad.
So
what was the oldest boy's name?
Mexican Spec says I only knew one of the actors from the Brady Bunch. Oh, who was that, Mexican Spec? I mean, there was one reason. See, you look at it now and you think, wow, I liking this little girl for? Well, because she was about my age, and that was Marcia, So Marcia was, I don't know, very, very, very close to my age, a little younger, like a year or something. So yeah, I like Marcia a lot.
Okay, Mexican Spec gets 2 points for saying Greg, and Johnny C. and Patrick Sullivan, and Buddy Carfano get 1 point for also saying Greg rapidly. I know you guys are all fighting the lag. It's tough.
So it was Greg that crashed that car.
Greg must have crashed the car. The oldest boy. That would make sense.
So yeah, Brady Bunch is kind of a one thing. Oh, who's this? Oh, Kevin Smith. I got another one. Kevin Smith. I'm trying to get it downloaded. He says, picture of me and my sissy. Oh, in 62. Wow, let's see what that looks like.
Johnny Bravo.
Whoops.
Name the dog. I don't know, Hippie Long. They had a dog?
Yeah, they had a dog.
I didn't really like that show.
Well,
I hated when that show came on because it was the end of the cartoons. Or maybe it was before the cartoons, and I was like, oh man, I want cartoons. And it was like, here's a story of an ugly lady.
This is from Kevin Smith. It says that's Kevin and his sister in 1962. Let's see here. Jeez. You make it sound so bad.
Horrible. The show was complete cringe. One of the kids always did something really dumb, and then everybody else told them how dumb they were, and then everybody who was watching knew not to do the dumb thing.
Here he is with
And you were like,
model
is
cars.
it time for cartoons yet? This is terrible.
Can't.
There was nothing good about it. Except Marsha.
Mexican Spec says, you don't watch the show, but you know the jingle.
I knew when it came on because it was just terrible. Yeah, did you hear? I sang every word.
Like 8 is enough. 8 is enough. What was 8 is enough? 8 is enough. I don't remember what that. I remember this. I remember that, but I don't remember what it was.
And then
okay.
there was the facts of life. You take your good, take your bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. That's when you knew it was time to go outside and do something because there was no more cartoons. You could not sit on the couch anymore. You had to find something to do.
And Mexican Spec sent more, so I'm getting his pictures here.
That was before there was an endless stream of entertainment on the internet. Like when that came on, you were like, "Oh man."
Okay, can you zoom back a little?
The Partridge Family was just as corny. Oh yeah. They had a cool bus though. They had a cool bus, didn't they?
Spectre Gadget. Okay,
I remember there was a partridge.
Who was the? I think he was a private investigator that drove a Firebird. Who was that?
That's not a Firebird. That's like a.
No. I'm asking a question. Okay, can you zoom out a little so we can see it?
Firebird?
Can you? It was. Yeah, I can't think of his name right now.
I cannot zoom out.
It doesn't zoom out at all. Oh, there. Okay.
Can you zoom in?
And then I can zoom in. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do.
Why are you sitting so far that way? I think the camera's wrong tonight.
I don't know.
You're like way over there.
Okay, the Mexican Spec, I think, asked me to show this picture.
Shaquille Shakasi.
Yeah, Rockford. It was Rockford.
Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, welcome.
All right, everyone who said Rockford gets a point. The Firebird was Rockford.
Yeah, Firebird. Yeah, that's Rockford. Yeah, that's the one. I remember that.
Kevin Smith says Y50 was the LTD. So he gets a point too.
Y50 wasn't that a helicopter?
Everybody who said Rockford gets the point.
This is this black car that Mexican Spec was talking about, I think.
Oh, it's a Cadillac.
No.
That's Cadillac hubcap.
I don't think it is. Well, it could be, I suppose.
It's got the little chevron things. This is not a chevron.
Oh, it's a big old LTD, two-door.
That emblem on the hubcap doesn't look like a Galaxy. It's a Galaxy 500. It says so on the back. I don't know any of these cars.
Oh, it's yellow valve covers. Somebody put yellow valve covers on it. So
I don't know, blue with yellow with black. It's a lot of
Mexican
colors.
Spec says, when you live in a valley, you meet people. Sherman Hemsley invited me personally to see them film the show. I had to sit in his dressing room because I wasn't 16 yet.
Oh, wow. That's
Mexican
crazy.
Spec says, HO, that is a Ford Galaxy wheel cover, Kim. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, they started everybody started putting these whatever leaves around everything.
That is a big car.
Yeah, so tell us about this. Why does it have yellow valve covers? Because somebody painted them yellow, I suppose.
Because it's an HO.
But
if you've got
high
output, you need yellow valve.
It's a 351 4-barrel. That is unusual. I had a factory 351 4-barrel, but it was on a 69 Mach 1. So, but here, most of the 351s are 2 barrels, I think, or 351 Windsors. And look at the fan shroud. Somebody took a chunk out of that. But that's repairable, or you just leave it, you know.
Hippie Lung doesn't like that.
Oh, Shaquille says, good night, everyone. Okay, you're taking off. Good night. Or maybe that means good night, like hello. I'm not sure. Tabo, who knows what car Bluey Australian cop drove? I threw up a little on a valve cover pick. Okay, wow.
Didn't like it. Not a fan at all.
Doris Day Show had great Mopars.
Really? I don't remember.
I remember Leave It to Beaver had Fords early on, and then later they had all Chrysler products. So I'm going to go back here so you can see the car again instead of the
Another
engine.
broken fan. Yeah, that's a broken fan. Shroud.
So you can see the car better again. That is a pretty nice car, Mexican spec. So that's one of your, that's another one of your cars.
It needs something. Like, I don't know. That probably is the trim that it came with, but it seems like it's missing something. Did that car originally have like a vinyl roof or something? Doesn't it look like
Some of them did. Some of them did, but I think it looks good without a vinyl roof on it.
I don't know. It just looks like it's missing something. I'm not saying it would look better with a vinyl roof. I'm just saying it looks sort of like.
Oh man, he sent there's a car here. He sent a lot of pictures. I'm gonna just grab a few of them.
Who did?
Mexican spec.
Mexican spec.
Because there's so.
I thought he said he was tired.
Well, yeah, but I know why he's tired. He wants me to show more pictures.
He needs to get through his pictures as cars.
He sent me a fleet of pictures. That's why, and I was ignoring them.
Says it needs air conditioning. Well, probably, yeah. In Mexico, it probably does. But if it had air conditioning, it would only get 7 miles to the gallon instead of 8.
Okay, so he has sent another car.
Oh, my back's hurting today. Why is my back
hurting? Bewitched had Chevys, did they? I don't remember. Okay, let's see. Here's another Mexican spec car. And this one's really good because somebody painted it red and they put a Ferrari emblem in the back fender. Is that a Ferrari emblem back there?
Oh, it does look like a Ferrari emblem.
So somebody's got a little four-door Ferrari sedan.
What is it, a Datsun?
It's a Datsun. It's a 73. He's sending pictures of 73s. It's a 73 Datsun 510. And let's see what other pictures are of that car.
I don't care about gas mileage. I know. If you're driving a classic car and your focus is gas mileage, you buy something very small. Very small. 4-cylinder. Open up the intake and exhaust as much as you can. Get it nice and free-flowing and put nice narrow tires on it. You'll get good gas mileage.
Is that how they put for sale signs on cars in Mexico? They put a dollar sign on it? It's like in New York. You're not allowed to put for sale signs on cars, so people put like a dollar sign or something like that. They do something else.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, car dealers got that law pushed through.
What a stupid law. I Dream of Jeannie had Pontiacs. You don't think of that stuff anymore because now, there's all kinds of cars in shows, but it makes sense. Like television was big time advertising. They would definitely make a deal with a manufacturer for a television show if they was going to have cars.
2,600 kilometers? Or is that 126? Or 26,000 kilometers? Or is that 126? Or is that 26? Is that original?
All of them.
Yeah, that means it's for sale. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like they did that same stuff in New York. New York, I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they got away with that. It's...
modern shows also do product placement. Well, of course, yes, and so do movie. A big time in movies. How they fund movie productions is often with product placement.
Here's
clothing, jewelry, all that stuff.
Here's something else that's original. That's different in Mexico. These 510s in the U.S. had an overhead cam engine. In Mexico, they had a pushrod engine, which is a much simpler engine. I kind of like these. Kevin Smith had Barris Customs on Bewitched also. Oh, yeah, they had some customized cars.
Didn't they have custom cars on the Munsters, too?
Well, yeah, the Munster coach. Yeah, they didn't buy that at a dealership.
Well, in the show, she went to a car dealer and bought cars for the Munsters. Those are Vector wheels.
I'm trying... those wheels?
I guess so. Mexican Spec says it's an 1800cc J series engine.
Oh, that's cool. It's a bigger engine than what they had here, but it was a pushrod engine, which I prefer because it's simple.
Government is all about controlling your actions. They would never. The government is all about freedom and saving you money and efficiency. That's all the government does, is efficiently do things that the private economy cannot do. Yeah. That's exactly what they do. They would never, ever steal your money via taxes and then funnel it to their own special interests. It wouldn't happen. Government would never do that. They're just too honest.
So Mexican Spec sent more 73 cars.
Barris built the Munster mobiles, says Gearhead. Thank you, Gearhead. I didn't know who it was, but I remember seeing those. Okay, so Barris, maybe it was the network that was working for Barris. Or maybe Barris was just smart and knew that the television shows would want to buy special cars.
Barris, he made a business of selling custom cars to the TV and movie industry.
You would think that they would make more money though working for the the big automakers. I'm surprised that Barris.
Well, Barris
did that.
Barris built a lot of movie cars. Here we go, 73 Chevelle.
There you go. Pretty fancy, pretty fancy.
Oh, I remember that dashboard. I really like that.
Is this another Mexican Spec car?
It's another Mexican Spec car.
What is that, a 3-speed or 4-speed, do you think?
Oh, man, it's got a floor shifter. It's a manual.
Didn't he say a lot of the cars in Mexico were 3-speeds?
Yeah, just a 3-speed or 4-speed. Example of a swivel seat. So this one doesn't have the swivel seats?
Maybe it does, and they just doesn't have a picture of the swivel seat from the car. So he added an example of it.
Aftermarket air cleaner.
Those were pretty common. That does not look like the original engine, or maybe valve covers or whatever.
Original? No, it's not original.
It looks like that
covers.
that engine is covered either in dust or in primer. I wonder if that car's all been repainted. It looked like really nice paint. Has that car all been repainted, Mexican Spec?
Oh yeah, see, this is not the same car because well, besides it saying that, look at the steering wheel and all the wood grain and all that, and then you look at the real one, there's no wood grain, and it's the Chevrolet steering wheel.
There you go. He agrees. Yes, it has it, but he didn't have a picture of the swivel, so he used an example picture. Mexican Spec knows how to sell it. Is that the original paint, Mexican Spec, or has this just been recently repainted? It looks like there's a bunch of primer dust on the engine.
Probably new paint.
Yeah, it does. It looks beautiful. That's a great thing about getting a car from Mexico is you can have the interior done, you can have the paint done, you can have the chrome done, and they can do it affordably in Mexico, where here in the United States, we can't even do it. It's not even that you can't do it affordably. You just can't even get it done. Nobody does it. There's no profit in it. Chrome.
Oh, chrome, yeah.
Interior. Try and find somebody who does nice interior.
Oh, yeah, and an interior. You know, there's this town here is just north of us. There's 160,000 people. There's 3 shops that are upholstery shops, and
they don't sew.
They don't do anything. One of them will order seat covers from China and hand them to you. I don't know what happened.
He said they order them from out west. So I think he gets them from custom made in Mexico and send.
God, well, that would be better than China.
Mexican Spec, if I sent you a pattern, could you have someone make it and then ship it to me for seat covers? They're not swivel, they're captains.
Dean Jeffries built the Monkey Mobile.
Dean Jeffries.
He's another well-known customizer kind of guy.
That's a wild vehicle, I remember.
You know, he did that hood. He flipped the hood over, took the stuff that goes on the inside of the hood, all the whatever you call it, the inner panel on the hood that looks like bracing and everything. He took that all apart and flipped the hood over and put that on the bottom. So that was the inside of the hood that swooped down like that with the blower coming up through it. I thought it was pretty slick the way he did it. We got commercials coming in a minute.
Mexican Spec says he just spent a bunch of money on the Fairmont. It has new tires because the others was from 2008. Yeah, that's a pretty good upgrade. Even with tread, 2008 is pretty old for tires. And a power steering hose, high pressure made, took 5 minutes to do and cost $30. That sounds like a good investment too, especially if that was the original hose. It probably ready to go. That's great. It's all going to be all serviced, and he's going to be really happy. He'll be able to enjoy it right away and not have to worry.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of work to that car. I got my car, it was as is. I had to do the work. Although he included some parts, the heater core and the headers. I don't know what I'm going to do with the headers. Okay,
Kim says,
commercials.
I wouldn't want to do that because I wouldn't have the seats here to test fit the pattern. Yeah, but it'd still be better than nothing. Like, you can't get nothing here. Like, you can overpay Classic Industries for seat covers if you have the most desirable automobiles. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be the bucket seats. It's got to be the special, the highest end models. Those are the ones that they have stock. But anything else, it's really hard to get. The
That
date
looks
was on
nice.
the inside of the tires, so I didn't know how old they are. I'm a full service seller.
You are.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I can't wait to see this car. I got a feeling I'll get a chance to see it. It's going to be cool.
He says this is an inline six truck, but looks good. Yeah, but I mean, what's wrong with this inline six? I was kind of like them.
I mean, yeah, everybody wants the V8 just for clout, but like you really don't need a V8 unless you're towing stuff and you need the extra power. But
Oh yeah, Mexican upholstery. Where's my? Oh, that's it. That's it. That's all the pictures of that one.
everything here is made by hand and there's a lot of room for error. Yeah, I understand. Test fitting stuff like upholstery would be pretty critical, but
Hippie Long says Uber ad and water bottle ad. Turbo Tom, U.S. Bank. 2 points each.
2 points each. Thank you to those advertisers for supporting the stream. It allows us to come to you via the big, grandiose, and expensive internet. They're helping pay the bills, people. You know, we don't really take anything home from it, but if we can sell ad space, YouTube will allow us to continue to show you pictures and have conversation. And I think that community building, as the people here in the chat get to know one another and we talk about things, we learn and we grow. Oh, look, Miss One-Eyed Cat showed up. Welcome
Miss
to the
One-Eyed
stream.
Cat. Miss One-Eyed Cat. Did you see our thumbnail last night from the shop? I hope you did. I put that up there for you guys.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
Kim actually put it up.
We
Kim
popped in super last minute last night and did a little stream because we were because we took late naps and we needed something to do to
It's like
pass the time.
15 minutes before we went up. Kim goes, "Let's go do a live," and we're in the house. We're not even up at the shop. It's like, okay. And she goes, "I'll give you a picture," and she handed me a picture that we used, and it was One-Eyed Cat putting fuel in his road tote, and so I used it, put it up, ran up the shop. I was there like 2 minutes, and bang, we're on. It's like, whoa, what happened? Because usually you have more prep time than that. But we had a good time. We did a lot of stuff. We were on there for a while.
Raw Dog asks for thoughts on V12s. Were there any V12 engines in '73? Who built the first V12?
Well, the first V12s that I remember available in the U.S.,
yeah.
At least later model stuff, not like ancient Cadillacs and Lincolns and things, but that was Jaguar. Jaguar.
When was that? Late '70s?
They were the E-type 12 cylinders.
What year was that? Any guess?
I'm not sure. You could look up E-type 12 cylinder.
There isn't a whole lot of availability of the V12s. Very rarely I see a vehicle with a V12 or a V12 engine that needs rebuilt around in the marketplace, but it's one of those things you almost have to buy new to get. So I don't know. I've never even.
This is One-Eyed Cat said, yes, she did see it.
I thought it was
Demix and
a
some
good
Jaguar.
picture. There's a Model T to his left, and there's the little road toad on the right, and there's some good people, and it was a memorable event, and I thought, oh, that's a good picture, because I needed to grab something to put up in a hurry for the thumbnail, so I grabbed it.
Another Mexican spec truck, obviously Mexican spec license plate.
That's a
Cadillac
nice
had
Ford.
Cadillac had them all. V12, V16. Yep. And they had different ones of those that had different angles of V and stuff.
V16.
Yeah, Cadillac.
Wow.
Oops, I went the wrong way.
GMC had a
Mexican.
702 V12 in the 60s. What did they put that in?
Yeah, that was in the bigger trucks. They were
Wow.
it was two of the it was really like two of their V6s, the 30, were they 305s? 30, what the heck were those things? I think they were 305 V6s, big heavy V6. Gene Winfield built the Catmobile, cars for Get Smart, and from Uncle, two shuttlecraft for Star Trek, and the cars from Blade Runner. Yeah, Gene Winfield built a lot of stuff.
Yes, he's recently passed away, and we've talked about him a little bit.
He passed away on a week ago today because
You know,
it was on our live.
I haven't seen anybody release like a really full, well-rounded like Gene Winfield tribute video, and I kind of thought somebody would, but maybe maybe they weren't quite prepared. It might take a couple more days, a couple more weeks before somebody comes out with a big tribute for Gene Winfield. That is a beautiful Ford truck. I think that's a good color for it too. I don't know that those are the best wheels for it, but you can always, stock wheels are always someplace to start. Those are good trucks. What do you think that truck has? 302?
I don't know. Mexican spec.
351?
Maybe I'll get to it. Maybe there's a picture of the engine here. Oh yeah, well, that looks familiar. Well, it's got a manual transmission.
It's a nice looking interior.
Ah, you're right. Looks like a 302. Sure does.
Nice. Gas tank inside the cab.
Look at that. Look at that power booster. What's that look like?
It looks a little bit. Oh, you know what? We need that cap.
What cap?
The cap for the master cylinder.
The cap. Yeah, but I'll finish that one.
Hold on. We just coated the cap for the master cylinder for his car, but what we really need is a really nice original one that's not rusty. I don't know if you could get them. If anybody can find a source for one, we'd love to have a fresh one, because his is all pitted. It got all rusty for some reason, and it wasn't a really good candidate to clean up. So it's that one that's round on one side and flat on the other. And it's like $40 to buy a whole new master cylinder. And we don't need a master cylinder. And the original master cylinder is all aluminum. We don't want to replace it with a cheap cast iron one. So if anything, we just need the cap. And we don't want to pay $40 for it. If anybody finds a source, let us know. Chip is keeping the Winfield fade alive.
You know who he's talking about.
Mex said something special there. What did Mex say?
You know who he's talking about. Chip Foose.
Yeah. 3L end with steel wheels and hubcaps.
Kevin Smith says, Napa, I replaced my lid. So I don't know what they paid for one at Napa. I don't care. We put that rust converter on it. I'll paint it. It'll be fine. It's fine.
It just makes it look really fresh if you have a nice one.
All right. Maybe I can put a clear thing on the hood so everybody can see my master cylinder. Go to the junkyard. All the junkyards are finally gone here.
They're gone.
They're gone.
Nothing.
You gotta go to
There's some little
Nashville or something.
There's some little piles of cars in people's back lots and stuff in places, though. We haven't found the Ford people, though. Not yet.
Tim says, I've been watching Ian Russell. Moved out to Mojave Desert down the road from Gene Winfield. He did. He and his wife were good friends with Gene. He used to do videos at the shop, yeah. And Ian Russell is, he is a talented guy.
Patrick Sullivan wants to see the taillights. Mexican Spec
Yeah,
was talking about
I
how the
did
72
I
lights.
did that, and then I went away from it. But
Uh,
oops, I don't remember which
you went
way I
away
went.
with it from it after he started talking about it. Mexican Spec saying that they used those in the United States. They changed the lights, but in Mexico they kept those lights until 1980. So,
Universal's wife Jamie did a long video of Gene Winfield at his home shop about 2 years ago. Custom in Garage on YouTube. Yeah, Ian's pretty interesting guy, pretty interesting guy. Tim, I ordered a bunch of shirts and hats and stickers from Winfield's shop back around Thanksgiving. Don't think I'll get them now. He was in the hospital and he was 97 years old. He had a long run, but you're only going to stay active when you're that age. Very minimal. Who knows? You might get them. Yeah, maybe the estate will take care of it. Maybe the money you send will go into the Winfield. Hopefully, there'll be a Winfield museum. I think that's what he wanted.
right.
No reverse lights on this one either. It was a base truck with a V8. Okay, let's see what else I got coming in. Kevin Smith sent something in that I haven't got to yet. It would be.
Back then, a bumper was an option.
Oh, it was on trucks when I remember. Bumpers were always options on the back of a truck.
Jeez.
Okay,
Who's Puppy Dog?
this is
Mexican Spec's Puppy Dog?
no. It's Kevin Smith. Oh, here's some from Lester LeSabre just popped in. What is this? Oh, Mexican Spec asked to send us. What he's find it.
It's Kevin Smith's therapy dog. Lovely. We all need pet therapy sometimes.
Okay, so Mexican Spec asked Lester LeSabre to send this in. So somebody needs to tell us why we want to look at this. It looks like a spare tire. Yep, you sent us, but it's exactly right. You sent us a spare tire. 2 views of the spare tire. Goodyear Grand Prix S. Mexican Spec, my classic tire.
How old is this tire?
Oh,
It's an old tire. It's got the narrow pinstripe. It's a 4-lug wheel. It's the spare from the Fairmont for Lester LeSabre. Grand Prix S. You think that's a factory tire?
no.
No.
I think that looks like it's got some use on it.
It does. It was run on a car. It was well, they stopped putting dates on cars. See, it wouldn't be from the 60s, Terry Mott, because that car wasn't that old.
Yeah, the car was built in 79.
I mean, it is possible that somebody put an older tire in the trunk, but I don't know.
I'm assuming that's a 13-inch wheel. Yours has 13-inch wheels on it, or 14-inch wheels. What's mine? Mine's 14-inch. So it's a 14-inch, but it's 4-lug. That's what I meant to say. No, because it was in metric. The original tires were Ds. Oh, like D78. D78 14s. I remember those. Gearhead. I had dogs for the majority of my life. Since I can remember, really, lost my last 3 years ago. So I just don't have it anymore. Too painful. Yeah, I lost our last dog like several years ago and just never got another one. Had a cat for a while. Had a couple of cats for a while. And then when I had to go to work, lady up the street took the cat for a while. But then when I got back, her daughter didn't want to give the cat up. So I said, you can keep the cat. And then I had another cat for a while that disappeared one morning. Don't know what happened to her. That was Powerglide. I can tell you it's not a Firestone 500. They had a problem with belts breaking. Yeah, it's not a Firestone 500 because all of them exploded. Yeah, 14 inches. Patrick Solon, 52 TRS. 52 TRS. What is that? D78s were on my Demon when I got it in 72. That's what Tim says. Every long says, looks like a cop rim. I think the cop rim. Weren't the cop cars all 5-lug wheels?
I don't know. We were talking.
I'm not sure. Kevin Smith, serious problem for Firestone. It was horrible. I have a friend that's Firestone dealer, and he gave up his Firestone tire. He bought Michelin's and said he had to adjust all those tires and lost his tail on them and lost a lot of his good old customers that he'd had for many, many years. About destroyed his business. Oh, 52 TRS, 52 tuned radial suspension. Okay, so let me go back to my email again. Buddy Carafano sent, everybody, I don't know if everybody remembers these things, but I sure do. You might have to zoom
There
a
you
little
go.
bit.
It's a motorhome from 1973.
Yeah,
now we're getting some variety. I like that.
That's the
You love
GMC,
to see it.
the GMC motorhome that was front drive had Oldsmobile. What were they? THM turbo hydromatic 425. It's the front drive chain driven transmission that they put in the Tornados, and then they put them in this. And this big flat floor back there, no drive shaft underneath anything, air suspension. That was quite a motorhome, and it still has kind of a cult following. I got a friend that's rebuilding one of those. He's out in California, and he's redoing the whole thing. Oh, touring rain, snow, tuned radial suspension. Celestial Sabre, stock Fairmont steel wheel. My Zephyr had the same as a spare. Yeah, that's what mine has. So it looks just like that. Belong GMC, yep. Kevin Smith, I had a set of Firestone 500. They would expand twice their size. And I had 721s on a 56 Ford. And they had it when I bought the car and drove them. But they were way better than that. They weren't the best tire in the world, but they were way better than the 500s.
That's a really modern looking vehicle. I mean, when it's new and
What's
clean
that?
like that.
The GMC motorhome?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
ahead of its time.
way ahead of its time, and still maybe it's nothing like any other motorhome. And it's like I
now
said,
they're like boxy and square sided,
and they were then, and they were before then, except for the GMC. It was there was another one called an FMC motorhome that was really not even quite as good as this, but it was low and wide. Yeah, big cult following. Sure is.
Pretty fancy stuff.
Yeah, and air suspension and everything. Well, I got a friend out in California. He's got one of those. I think he's in Santa Barbara now. I think. When I knew him years ago, he had a 57 Ford. In fact, his sister bought my father's 57 Ford. And then he had a 57 Ford, and then he had a 50, Man, it was a 2-seat Thunderbird, 55, 6, or 7. I don't remember which one it was. But he had it in a shop, and the guy completely took it apart and was doing a full restoration on it.
Patrick, we are not making a meth lab
What?
out of the GMC motorhome.
What?
It's way cheaper
Jesus.
to buy meth on the streets.
Jeez. We're not talking about that. That front wheel drive will pull you out of anything. I remember working on the radiators in these. I could actually sit down under there and then sit up between the grill and the radiator, and I've worked on them right in there. There's enough room that I could get up in there and work on them. Big crossflow, big GM crossflow, like on a 1-ton pickup truck. That same style radiator. The early GMC motor coach had the 455. The later ones got the 403. Did they? See, I didn't know that. Wow, 38 Racing's here. Hey, welcome. JB, stay out of my territory. Walter White.
Did you ever
I don't
see
know
that
what all this-
television? He's never seen that show.
No.
There's a show called Breaking Bad, and it was all about a high school science teacher who got cancer. He knew he was going to die, and he decided that since he was never going to get anywhere teaching, he decided he was going to cook meth until he died, so he had money to give his family and stuff like that. That was the premise, and then it went all into all the politics of crime and meth, drugs, all of that.
Okay, somehow. Oh, this, I see what it is.
And money and
Buddy
power.
Carfano sent us this. It's a Mexican spec, not from Mexican spec, but a Mexican spec car. It's a Duster. It's a Valiant Duster, and they got
Those
it
are
off
good
Mopar.
wheels for that car.
Yeah, that looks good. Those wheels do look good, don't
If
they?
you showed me those wheels just sitting like in a pile, I would be like, but they look good on that car with that stripe and everything. They work. It really works.
This Duster, I don't really like that front end with the big bumpers and the pointy front end, but when
No.
they black the grill out, that actually makes it look a whole lot better.
They did a nice job with that.
Makes it look a lot better.
Yep.
Looks like the air cleaner matches the. I can't zoom it in, or I would. But yeah. JB, hi at 38 Racing. Did you see the 59 Biscayne Puddin is redoing?
I saw it, but I haven't started watching it yet. No spoilers. I saw the thumbnail. I enjoy Puddin's Fab Shop. When I have free time, I'm a little bored and there's nothing else going on, I will sit and watch an entire... Same with Mordsky repairs. All the Mordsky long videos.
Okay, now that we're doing motorhomes, now you're gonna see what Dodge did at the same time.
Yeah, it looks
like a big.
It looks a little more industrial with the big van.
Well, and it's and it's rear drive, so there's drive shaft and all the stuff underneath, so it has to set up higher. You got to climb up into it. GMC motorhome's a really nice vehicle. And then nobody has one here, but maybe
a little bit like a freight train.
Maybe
a Freightliner.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get hit by that. Careful, Buff. My 74 Dart sedan will get mad at you. That has his front end. Yeah, but is it a? I mean, with that grill blacked out, it actually looks pretty decent.
It's not my favorite front end on a Dart. I mean, that's just the way it is. But
can you look up FMC Motorhome?
Sure, I will.
Which is not Ford Motor Company; it's somebody else. FMC Motorhome, and it was about the same era, and it was kind of a special motorhome that was kind of lower and wider, but I still think the GMC. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's one. The yellow one will work.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, and it's low and wide.
Why does the picture get smaller when I click on it?
I don't know. Got smaller when you clicked on it. That one looks funny. The yellow one looks kind of like what they used to. The strange motorhomes were kind of this one. It was low and wide.
This one kind of looks like this one's 75. This kind of looks like, doesn't it look like it looks like a fire engine.
Yeah, it looks like a fire engine. You're right.
You know what? And that Dodge one kind of looks like a fire engine too, now that I see it.
And then the GMC, and we all looked at that. And then what is the other one that was, there were two others. Oh, what was the one that had the Corvair? Somebody will know this. The Ultra Van. I got that one before anybody put it up. Look up the Ultra
Oh,
van.
38 Racing was already saying that.
Oh, where?
Yeah, 38
Oh, Buff,
Racing.
have you ever seen the Corvair? Oh, okay. But he
38
didn't put the name of it. He didn't put the
Ray,
name of it. That's
you
ads.
thought his thought before he thought it. You get 2 points for being just all over that one. What was it called? Corvair Ultra Van?
It's called an Ultra van. I guess you could call it a Chevy, but it wasn't really. It was made. It had Corvair running gear in it.
The Ultra Van. Oh, look how cute that is!
It's got a Corvair engine in the back. The later ones had V8s in the back, but a Corvair engine.
Look how cute it is! It's so little!
It was low and wide, and it. Oh, people, it's still a cult following. They put big smiley faces on the front of them and stuff.
I've never seen this. I love this paint job. It's so 60s.
Oh yeah, you're gonna, if you scroll down, you probably find the one with a smiley face.
Oh man, and there's one made in an ice cream truck.
Yeah, somebody just brought that up too. Somebody in here just brought that up.
This is from the 60s. This is 67.
Yeah, that Ultra van.
Man, there is a
Charles Corral used an FMC motorhome on his On the Road series. There's a hilarious write-up on it, an old car and driver. Really? Best of the Saber says that's ugly. They were so ugly, they were cute. When I first saw one, it's like, oh my God. And then I found out it had a Corvair engine in it. I thought, what makes it go? That's only gonna move forward if you're going downhill. But I used to see them on the road. There were enough of them out there that you'd see them, you know. Yeah, see here, JB said there's an Ultra Van food truck in here. Yeah, it's a pink one. And then the other one was the one, I'm trying to think of the name of it. It looked kind of like a Dodge on the front. Now I need help. Somebody's going to get points here. Who was the guy that went to Ford with in 1970 and was designed the big 71 Mustang, and he was he came from Pontiac and from General Motors. He did Corvette, the early Corvettes, and he was a Japanese guy that ended up in a no, not an Airstream. It's a Japanese guy that ended up in an internment camp in his teenage years during World War II. And he took the crates and designed not Lee Iacocca. No, it was after he's came in with Larry Shinoda. That's it, JB. You got it.
You get 3 points.
Larry
JB.
Shinoda. Look up Larry.
Because he's named that guy a bunch of times, and
I just couldn't pull a name up. Larry Shinoda. Look up Larry Shinoda.
Okay.
And Motorhome, because that was one of the last projects he did, and he did it kind of on his own. Two guys did it together, and it wasn't. There were a few of them around, but it wasn't a big success. It was another kind of futuristic-looking motorhome, but it was not as. Yeah, there you go.
Mustang Boss 302 made.
No, the designer of the Boss 302 did this. Okay. Yeah, you can see it there.
Bang!
That thing. And it was tall and everything, but it was kind of a weird looking.
Look, it's got the teeth like my van. My van has teeth on it, and so does this. See the teeth?
So what did they call that thing?
My van.
Larry, I don't know what they called it, but Larry Shinoda was the guy that designed that. Terrible names. Do you guys like roller coasters? Oh man, some of them I do. The new ones scare the hell out of me. They got a little wild. I like the old ones that'll do a roll or maybe a loop, and they're a little rough, but they look like they're rolling on skate wheels. But the ones like where you hang down in the prone position, skim over water at 1 foot, and then go a couple 100 feet up in the air at 120 miles an hour. No, I'm not into that.
Hippie Long says, no campers or boats for me. I've seen more sitting than being used. Well, you know what they say about boats. It's a hole in the water that you throw money into.
Airplanes same way, except they're not in the water.
Mexican Spec says, when I see an old motorhome sitting, it kicks in my I can fix that instinct. You know what? Motorhomes are a good candidate for will it runs because people don't wear them out nearly as often as they let them sit till they seize up. Whereas cars, people just wear them out. Cars and trucks, people drive them, and when they're worn out, then they park them. But motorhomes, people use them for a while, and then they get busy and they just sit. So
You know
motorhomes and campers.
what does in a lot of motorhomes and trailers, travel trailers, is they get water inside them, and then the floors are wood, and it ruins the floor and right up out of the floor, and that's a really hard thing to replace. So when you see one of those that's parked, if it doesn't have that problem, it's probably something you can restore.
Yeah, and a lot of times they get leaky roofs because
Yep.
the roofs are made out of materials. I don't know why they don't make them out of better leak-proof materials. I guess just cheap.
Cheap, trying to make them cheap enough so people can even buy the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, Buddy Carafano sent in this, but we're on the wrong page for that.
Mopar mothership.
Yeah, that's what that looks like, a Mopar mothership.
It does kind of look like a Star Trek sort of spacecraft. There it is. There's the comparison to the spacecraft right there.
Oh yeah, there you go.
In the upper corner, there's a spacecraft from Star Trek, and it is. It's just a little close to that.
Let's see here. My father thought that too. He bought a really low mile motorhome to take up to Alaska, but he had to rebuild all the rubber suspension and everything else on it. Miles don't mean anything on them. Yep. Okay, so this one here, the Buddy Carafano sent in.
Wheels.
Okay, and you're gonna, yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's a 73 Cougar XR7 convertible. That's a rare one.
Pretty.
That was the first year Ford did the big bumpers, and it looked kind of funny, but I don't know. I think the Cougar was one of the ones that wasn't real bad with the big bumper. 38 Racing, better roofs on motorhome. GMC was fiberglass. Yeah, that's why the GMC, those are restorable. It's the ones that are got that, that sheet metal with all the gray dum-dum between them. I don't know. I've seen so many motorhomes and trailers that the floors are so wet, they're just ruined. 73 Chevy Sports Coach, ugly. I'm not sure what that is. You might want to look that up. I don't know. Mexican spec. I had a 72 Cougar XR7 convertible. Had one option, power steering. Really? That must have been an odd one. It was an XR7, which is a more upscale car. The only option was power steering.
Kevin Smith says he was a service technician on motorhomes, and it was a nightmare. And he talked about he had worked on some of those Chevy coaches before earlier, and I apologize that we skipped his comment. I kind of read it, but sometimes mid-story you miss comments, so I apologize, everyone.
Yeah, I worked in a place they called it a camping center, but it was a place that sold motorhomes and trailers in the 70s, and they used to take trade-ins. And, you get a trade-in on a motorhome or a trailer, and usually it had some problem that somebody didn't want to deal with anymore, and then we had it. And, I was 17 then, and my job was to get through. One of the things that always seems to happen is there's a tube that goes down there to dump the bad water out of it. And that tube would be 100% clogged with stuff that would go in there.
Ew.
And that was my job, was to clean that out. What a miserable job. And then all the water leaks, and I don't think any of them ever had a refrigerator that works. I was really good at replacing refrigerators.
Propane powered refrigerators.
Propane, they were three. They had propane, 12 volt, or plug-in, from shore power. So, yeah, wastewater. I just didn't want to say what it really was. There's two wastewaters. There's gray water and then that water. and those tubes get plugged up. Man, I knew a guy in Pennsylvania had a motorhome, and he went through a McDonald's and cut the corner too much going out of the... I know what happened. He couldn't get close enough to the building, so he moved out and then got out of the drive-through, and he caught that tube on a piece of concrete or something, and broke it off. So as he drove out of the McDonald's, it emptied that bad water tank.
Ugh.
And you know what he did? He kept going. It's like, oh
As
my
one
God.
does.
Oh my God. Oh, that's on the long Mustang chassis. It is. Break off the screws and put a sticker on it.
Oh, jeez.
Here's
Kevin
what
Smith, I'm sure you've got stories that go on and on, because I've heard the quality on motorhomes is some of the sketchiest stuff out there.
here, back when I was working in the camping center.
Oh,
There's-
here comes the plumbing jokes,
Yeah.
buddy. Sounds like a
yeah.
shitty job.
So yeah, chunky water. That's
Oh
the stuff.
man, come
That's
on,
the
guys.
stuff. So I don't even want to think about that job.
Yep, let's move on.
That was a minimum wage job. It was $1.65 an hour job, and that just I don't know. You do what you got to do when you're 17 years old and you're trying to work your way up. So get to go to a couple of factories where they build trailers, and there's an inspector in there. He's going like this, and there's flaws in the trailer, and he's going like this with a piece of chalk or crayon, some kind of crayon, and he put an X, and he put another X, and there's somebody behind him goes, everywhere he puts an X, we're supposed to put a mirror, because any place they saw a flaw, they just mount a mirror over the top of it. So you go in those trailers, and you see mirrors all over the place. That's why.
Oh man. Jeez, what?
He didn't want to stop and mop it up. Yeah, you couldn't clean that up with a mop. Tampon and all. Mexican 17-year-old today would never take that job. They're too good.
Right. No.
Well, you know what? That's why, I learned so much. That's why I know how one of those refrigerators works. That's why I know about how that system works. That's why I was able to move my way up and eventually design and build airplanes, because I knew how everything worked. She's the same way. I watch her, and she just dives into anything and takes it apart. And if she's never seen it before, pretty soon she's seen it. Pretty soon it's back together, and then it works.
Like how I learned how to rebuild a brake booster, right? I'm like, well, how hard can it be? I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, it's
she's doing it on
bills, and it's crimped together. So you just have to break out the crimps. So you pound the crimps back out. And who was saying, like, careful, there's a big spring in there. I'm like, oh, yeah, there is.
That's what I laughed about. She's like just gonna take it apart. Somebody goes, careful, there's a big spring in there. Somebody in the chat. And somebody says, I put a cargo strap around that. She goes, no, I'm just gonna hold it. And they all got pulled apart.
I put it in a vise and I hit it and it went boing.
Oh, is that what that noise was?
It's apart. Working since
Yes.
I started work, I was like 7 or 8 years old. It was my responsibility to mow the grass, and it was my responsibility to make the lawnmower run. Not to start the lawnmower, to figure out why the lawnmower wouldn't start, because somebody else already tried to start it, and then it was my job to maintain the equipment and run the mower and rake, and clean up, put everything away. It was my job start to finish. I had to go ask for the key to the shed, and I had to know where everything was, and I had to, if I was running out of gasoline, I had to make sure that they went and got gasoline for me for next time, and I was responsible. I was supposed to learn how to be responsible. So starting at 7, 8 years old, and by 15, I had a paper route, and I was mowing multiple lawns. I was maintaining the tractor and my bicycle. I had to ride my bicycle, so I had a working bicycle, and somebody wasn't buying that stuff for me. I had to collect those things.
Look at the Mexican spec. I was an adult with my kid. He is in his 3rd semester of medical school. Good. Excellent. Yeah, I don't know. I had to mow the lawns, but I didn't have to keep an engine running because it was the kind of mower you push and it goes chick, 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 like this, and it was geared to the wheel, one of the wheels. It's like one-wheel drive, only backwards. The one wheel drives the blades. And then I had an engine. I wanted to put it on it, and I got that engine, and it was really not the right engine for that kind of thing. And I was running it in the backyard, rom, 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 no muffler on it, of course. And my father came out and turned that off. It's too noisy. We're in a neighborhood. And then I decided, this is long before they put alcohol in fuel. I decided I was going to run it on alcohol, and I put rubbing alcohol in it. That was the end of that. It didn't run. So I had to clean that all out, put gasoline back in it. I don't know. That's how I learned about engines, doing that kind of thing. Tim says, time to call it a night later. Take care, man. Thanks for being here. I don't have kids. I seem to raise others.
It takes a village. Parents can't always be... parents need to be responsible for their children, but I don't know very many adults who know how to do everything and have the energy to always do everything. And yes, they should be responsible, but it is a lot of work to raise children. So, people who are in the peripherals, it is good when they can step up and teach things and have greater amounts of patience than a parent might have. And we all benefit when children are raised properly, and we all suffer when they're not. So honestly, we do need to be aware that we all have some responsibility. We all have skin in the game. If this generation is not raised properly, we'll all suffer down the road. Somebody's going to have to change our diapers someday.
Oh, God.
Someday,
Junkyard D says, those RV pics reminded me I added a 73 to my fleet about a month ago. That's this.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Oh,
cool. It's a Dodge. Is it a 440 or is it like a
318,
360? I've seen them in all kinds of... See, I can't see what size.
See, that looks like the ones we used to get at the camping center. That was that era. Because I was working that camping center in 1971 and 1972.
Gearhead is heading out. Later, Gearhead. Thanks for being here.
So I'm going to go back to that other picture. Yeah, look at that. That looks just about like they were brand new then, but I remember that kind of stuff. I remember kids riding up all the time. You'd see kids riding up in the top, which is probably not the safest place to be. Man, we had one come in one time and somebody drove under. They went into a hotel. They forget how they rented the motorhome. They go in there and they just bent the shit out of everything. They bent the whole motorhome back and then off to one side when they hit the overhead thing that you go under when you register at a hotel. And then they brought it to us. They wanted us to fix it in a hurry so they could take it back. It's like, we're not going to fix this in a hurry. Oh, and then the door wouldn't open, so we had to get it enough they could get the door open.
Junkyard D says it's a 360 with 45K miles. I'm going to swap it to my 88 van. Is the camper messed up real bad? I mean, there's times where it's not worth working on a camper because it's bad, but if it's a nice one of those campers, just find a 360 anywhere. I've seen where they're not worth fixing, but they're cool vehicles actually.
My girlfriend who didn't know how to pump gas said my daddy does it for me.
I don't think a child should be allowed to drive a vehicle. You shouldn't be allowed to get a driver's license if you don't know how to pump gas in your vehicle. Like, come on. That's not responsible. That's not educated. That's just an accident waiting to happen. Although there's some states where you're not allowed to pump your own gas. And
yeah, I think I don't know if New Jersey is still that way, but Oregon, New Jersey, but Oregon defeated that. It went from, oh yeah, we have to pump this because we know what we're doing. We go to school, learn how to pump gas and all this nonsense. And then the next time I was in Oregon, they just sit back. I wouldn't do anything. All of a sudden you could pump your own gas and they're just like everybody else now. But New Jersey, I don't know. Anybody in here from New Jersey or been there lately? Can you pump your own gas yet, or is that still a crime?
38 Racing says, when I was a kid, the guy next door was a trash collector would sort metals out. I bought several Briggs from him. That's where I got my start. Yeah. I mean, not everybody's going to be a mechanic. I understand that. But there are some basic things in life that you should know how to do. You know? Like, should everybody who drives a vehicle know how to drive a stick? Maybe not.
Both my kids learned how to drive a stick from me.
But are people who know how to drive a stick better drivers in general? I think generally they are because they have a better understanding of what's happening. It's not like some magic box. Yes, situational awareness. It's a thing, you know? And is it hard? I mean, maybe you don't have the opportunity to put someone you're teaching to drive in a stick shift car, maybe you don't have the time and energy, but like really, they deserve. I don't know all the thing, but life skills, yes.
My oldest son, he was 11, I think. No, 11 or 12. Private property, a private airport. There's a guy there had a Myers-Banks dune buggy, a little Volkswagen Myers-Banks dune buggy. We were riding, just using it as like an airport vehicle. I said, here, you brought private property, you can drive it. So had a manual. I'm showing him how to use the clutch, and pretty soon he's using it. And then, okay, push the clutch back in, bring it down. And then I'm shifting it, show him how. Bring it back in the second and third. And he was just driving around up one side of the runway, back the other side. And it was like almost a mile each way. And having to slow down and downshift and then stop. And, it was just something he learned how to do. And then his first vehicle that he got when he was 16 was a Ford Ranger, the little truck, and it had a 5-speed manual in it. I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. He probably wouldn't have gotten that except he knew how to shift. What's this? Pump gas, change flat tires should be a requirement to get a license. Raw Dog, Portland, Oregon. You still have to have someone pump your gas for you. Gas is up. I was there not too long ago, and
$8
it was
or
like
$9 a gallon.
and they ended. Oregon ended that.
Yeah, when I was in Portland, I don't remember not being able to
They
pump
ended
my
that.
own gas.
You remember when I went there last time? I drove there and came back.
Yeah.
That trip was I had to pump my own gas in Oregon,
Okay.
and that's why I was working in.
Yeah, I was
in
there.
Oregon.
What was it? Is it 2 years ago already?
Could have been.
Okay.
It was probably close to 2 years ago. When was I there? When I drove back, and you made me stop and get a hotel room. You bought me a
like
hotel
a year
room.
and a half
You knew
ago.
I was too tired to drive any
It
further.
was a year and a half.
And she bought me a hotel room and said, "This is where I got it." And I pulled in there, and man, I was really glad she did that because I got a good night's sleep and got a shower and everything. Next day was easy and got here.
Olive says, I've run into gals down here that got
Sex
out of mechanical competence. My housemate's brother came to me to fix his truck, and she was shocked. Yeah, women can do things. Mechanical competence is not a gendered sort of trait, but I know when I was young, my family discouraged me. They did not want me to work on cars. They thought it was beneath me. They didn't want me to waste my time, but it was something I was interested in. They couldn't keep me from it. But man, they tried. They had cars towed away while I was gone for the day. They would have the tow man come and take the car. They did it to me a couple times. But I was dumb. I was a dumb kid, and I made, junked the place up, and they hated it. But
our driver's ed teacher made sure the class knew how to change a tire, but not check oil. Oh, we had to check. We had to check oil. I don't know if we ever changed a tire. I know we had to do like a pre-flight check the oil, and I know we had to do that. Kim, cars can't bump start. It's a mute subject. Fuel injection. I just watched you do that. Go start your van on YouTube. You just reached in a cold start, ice all over everything, and it started right up. That was pretty cool.
Fuel injection is really nice. I mean, I'll give it to you. But if the pump goes bad, in any vehicle, you're not going to bump start it. So, I mean, that's a fuel pump issue, not a thing. I don't know. Yeah, I remember we had cars that you could push start them. There's no battery, but once you got it running, it was fine. So, yeah, we had a couple of those. We also had cars that you could drive around with just the starter motor.
What's this? The first no-name national, Buff? What is that? Oh, he got ads. I drove from Oregon to the first no-name national, and then I drove to Oregon much later after Kim was already living here. And that's when Kim had me stay in a hotel because she knew we were talking on the phone. She knew I was whooped. And I was going to just keep going, but I was actually kind of glad she bought me a hotel room.
Olive said the woman said I could never do that. And you and the guy said, sure you could. You just got to learn it. I mean, you have to have the interest and the drive in order to learn, because it takes a lifetime to really learn how to work on machines. Like the variety of different systems and the complexity, it does. I don't know. Some people think 10 minutes is never. They won't do 10 minutes worth of work because it's something that they don't want to do. So maybe she could never learn that, but anyone could learn it if that's what they wanted to do. It's a shame when people are discouraged from trying something if they want to.
God, Mexican Specs says all gas stations in Mexico are full service. Is it required? Are you allowed to get out and put gas in, or is it a service, or is it required that?
Mexico has, they have the labor force for having
Yeah, but
service industries.
I'm wondering if
Here in the
it's
United
if
States,
it's required. Like it was in Oregon, it
like,
was
yeah.
required, and now it's not. And they won't get off their ass now. But New Jersey, I don't remember. New Jersey, man, they wouldn't even let you get out of the car.
Wow, Olive says she seemed interested and has been inspired to try a trade school. That's awesome. Do they still have squatters in Portland, Oregon? Do they still have water? Of course they have squatters in Portland, Oregon. Their politics incentivize people to be squatters in that. It's run badly. It's run badly. It's not, I'm not directing at any particular political person, but the collection of policies that they have put together there, it incentivizes people to act in a way that is really not very
responsible.
It's a mess. It is a mess. So yes,
Kim, Lester says my Fairmont has a points distributor from the factory.
Really? Remember, isn't it from the 80s?
Fairmont? It's a Mexican car.
Oh man. Well, you know what, Lester? We could probably get you an electronic distributor, and it is slightly more complex. But like the
I remember his the 302.
A DuraSpark system on that will give you a very precise and reliable work. You don't want to go buy the cheapest conversion kit you can get, but you can get like a what's it called? Like a like a Ford quality, like a Delco quality system, and you'll never have to, you set it and forget it. You'll never have to touch it again. So if you have any problems getting the points adjusted, or if the distributor gives you any issues or anything like that, then let us know and we will help you find the parts you need. But I think it sounds like Mexican Spec's going to give you a nice, fresh, good run. He's got to drive it to the border, so it sounds like it's already running good.
Blue Grit says, Buff, what is with all the HIV commercials breaking in on your channel?
Really?
Okay, here's how YouTube works with the commercials. It's based on the searches you make on things you're going to buy, or things that you search on Google. That's how they
everybody in the chat who calls out commercials is calling out different advertisers. So,
and that's why we're kind of doing that.
It could be a regional thing. It could be something in your
regional. I don't know.
Or maybe somebody in your household.
It's not us. We have no control. The only thing we have control over is if we want to monetize or not monetize.
Maybe someone in your household was looking for some educational material about HIV.
That's possible.
Or maybe somebody on your IP net, like someone on your street, might have been searching about HIV, or they might have mistakenly clicked on something about HIV. You never know.
Well, they might have. I did something one day.
It's weird how those.
I did something, I don't remember what it was, searched something and it came up wrong, and then I started getting commercials.
But I have never seen a commercial for anything that has to do with HIV on YouTube. So
the commercials are decided by the viewer, not by us.
Well,
we're not. A lot of people here might get car stuff because they're car people and they're searching for parts on one of the shops.
And you're clicking on our channel, which is about cars, so they, that is some directed. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people who.
Can you go back up just a little bit because it's scrolling kind of fast? Mrs. One-Eyed Cat said something. I don't know what it was.
No.
BRB. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Not now.
Okay, keep now.
We're in the middle of a stream. You can't leave and go pay bills.
Now we can start rolling again.
Okay, they didn't use electronic ignition in Mexico until 1986 or 1987. Wow. Wow.
Wrong, Kim. The modules fail, and then you're dead in the water. I was telling Kim, I have that 200 cubic inch 6 in mine, and I said, it's got electronic
It's got
ignition.
the original door
And
spark box.
I'm going, you know what? They made these engines back in the 60s. I could get a distributor out of the 60s or something, just go with points. And she's like, no, this is reliable. Yeah, okay. So if you search hemorrhoids, you get preparation age. That is possible, I suppose.
Yeah.
If you get in there and or even with your phone on and you're near it, start talking about something that's, I don't know, something you might, frying pans. Something, and I bet you start getting commercials about frying pans.
I will keep the points as a spare for the big electromagnetic storm. Oh yeah, don't throw the points away. Don't throw the points away, because sometimes you just can't get parts.
38 Racing, haven't a commercial yet on the computer at least. Huh?
The Slant 6 in his Valiant, we put the points distributor out of my 66 in, and then I put an electronic distributor in, and they run about the same. But the problem is points, when moisture messes up your points, like condensation from humidity and stuff can mess up your points, and then they need adjusted more often, which was common before. But stop at a shop and be like, hey, can you set the dwell on the points in my car real quick? I need a tune-up. They won't even know how to do it. They don't have the tools. It's not something people do anymore. So
I remember what people used to do just to set something in a hurry on the road. They use a matchbook. You remember? I don't know. Did they just still make matchbooks? Matchbook opens up and it's thin cardboard, and you could just set the points with it, and it was close enough to get you going.
Well, the nice thing about that Ford too is it's right up on top in the front there. Mm-hmm. Like on a Slant 6, you got to stand on your head, and
that's the worst thing about this Slant. Worst thing. I used to hate that on Slant 6 because the distributor was in
a terrible place to work.
But then after working on new cars, Slant 6 distributor doesn't seem so bad.
It's not hard at all. Yeah. Change the picture. We've been looking at this old RV for a long time.
Okay. Dead garage. I lost my place. Oh, told Uncle Tony is having problems with the Pertronics. Tony just laughed at him. Yeah, the old ones, they were called Perlux, and then they became Pertronics. The old Perlux ones are really good, but they're, I don't know what happened to Pertronics. Probably made in somewhere else.
There's a lot of, fake stuff that is branded with the name brand stuff. And, it's what's it called? What's that called when you do that? Anyways, it's bad.
Counterfeit?
It's and it's garbage. But even still, I don't know, quality is hard to get good quality stuff.
I don't know if you want to zoom this in any closer or not. This is Buddy Carfano. BMW made a thing called a 1600 that looked just like this, and then the 2002 was the top one back then, and it had a better engine in it. It was 2-liter? I mean, that was the one that all the BMW guys wanted back then. Can we look at the grill pick instead? I can smell the interior. I got rid of that. I kind of like the funky upholstery. Probably, I'm sure I will not drive the Fairmont in the rain or snow. We all know moisture kills a Ford. Well, yeah, it's the snow and the salt that kills it. I don't think the rain does so much.
Horrific. Driving in the moisture, though, is especially when it's like never-ending moisture, like in Pittsburgh, where it rains constantly. It's always damp. Yeah, it destroys machines. It's terrible for it. Never gets a chance to dry out. That's just bleh. And everywhere you park, you're parking on water. It's damp underneath. Ugh.
What is this, Raw Dog? Name some famous people from your state. If you know any celebrities from your state, start naming some. I don't know. Why?
No.
Okay.
This is our stream.
Uncle
Not
Tony.
yours.
Uncle Tony.
Uncle Tony. Dr. Art.
Dr. Art. Uncle Tony.
Whistling Diesel.
Kim fixes things.
Nah, she's not really all that famous though.
Oh, you're
In certain
worldwide.
circles.
Worldwide. Yeah, Johnny Carson. He was from Norfolk, Nebraska. Sure was.
Let's see.
He donated a lot of money to a hospital there. I know that.
You know what? That's the thing though. Celebrities are not just in Hollywood anymore.
And this,
Celebrities are all over now because the entertainment business has become decentralized. Some of the biggest people are no longer even Hollywood associated. Nobody's asked me to join the union.
yeah, you're
What's up?
nothing. I'm just saying, yeah, you're just a celebrity. You're not
Yeah.
Hollywood celebrity. You're just a celebrity.
Ben Franklin? Ben Franklin is dead.
Blue Grit. You can limp a car further with a points car, mechanical fuel pump than a computer car. That's right, because one of them just shuts off and you don't know why, and the other one just starts running shitty for a couple of months, and it's telling you, hey, do something about this. You got lots of warning usually.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a trade-off, right? Because an electronic ignition, when you could set it and forget it, it probably, if you hook it up properly, it probably will be incredibly reliable and it will be very precise for the entire life of it. So, that's nice. And the advantages of fuel injection is with the new fuels, pressurized fuel becomes atomized. It burns more completely and it doesn't evaporate. So, it is more stable. It starts faster. It's easier on your starter. With an oxygen sensor for feedback, you're going to get better completer combustion. But absolutely, the more layers you stack on, the more absolute the failure becomes. When it stops working, it's just dead, and you got to get it towed. You know, I don't know where it ends. I don't.
Famous people. I bought that Zephyr Z7 that we're working on right now from a guy named Joe Rojas. Joe Rojas is an actor, and he played Pablo Escobar on a movie, and he's a pretty nice guy. And he comes in here sometimes. In fact, he could be lurking right now.
Where's Walter? Who's Walter?
Walter, I'm not sure who Walter is. Somebody that somebody knows their Buddy Carafano still sending pictures, so I'm still. Oh,
Mexican
here
Spec
this.
says, "Come on, Kim, you haven't had them fail on you. I have many times."
Oh, there's a good-looking car.
I mean, honestly, no. It's not that I haven't seen failures, but honestly, no. Usually they just work. Usually it just works. You don't have to mess with it. It's other things that fail. Yep. I don't know. I don't have problems with that stuff. I don't know what you're doing wrong. Make sure your grounds are good. Make sure your your alternator is running at the correct voltage so it's not burning it up with over. They work
famous means a
okay.
person is generally known, I guess, not just as job as an actor. Well, okay. Although, he's done some stuff that somewhat known. Oh, Mexican Spec saying, famous means a person is generally known, not just someone who has a job as an actor. Yeah, he has a job as an actor, but he did some stuff that's pretty cool. Who are we
talking about?
Joe Rojas.
Oh.
So I guess maybe he's not as well known as some actors.
He's probably more famous than we are.
That's an F-body I'd be seen in. Yes, I like the looks of that car.
Yeah.
73.
Yeah.
That's what I should have bought instead of the Matador. So I could have bought one of those for the same price.
Does that car from the factory have a bumper? And it's just
that is the bumper. That's a
Really?
What did they call that stuff? Somebody will know the name of it.
It's a 73?
Dura something. Dura. What was that stuff called? They made those bumpers out of.
That's pretty impressive. I like that. Wow. Olive was saying about side pipes. Thought side pipes were cool, but then she realized that you have to ride in the car, and they are right by your ear. Yeah. Yeah. They look cool as all heck, though.
The only thing I've had of side pipes I don't like is a Corvette, 67 Corvette. I got out of one time and touched one with my leg and got hot really quick, although I didn't burn myself real badly. Enduro, that's right, Enduro. Well, one Mexican spec says Endura, and 38 Racing says Enduro. Buddy Car Farmer says Endura. It was one of them, not sure which. I think it was Enduro. I don't know. Yeah, anyway, it's that soft. If you hit that stuff, it punks in and it punks back out. And you can see it's a little different color because it was molded somehow, but it looked pretty good. So that is the bumper.
Mexican
Oh,
specs
Enduro
says,
is a class of motorcycle racing.
crap happens. Yeah, I get it. I do. I mean, points are more. The simpler you make it, the more reliable it is.
Oh, Mexican spec got it right. It's Enduro.
And it's a class. Oh, enduro is motorcycle racing. Okay.
Yeah, I was helping a guy with a 67 Corvette. Had a 454 in it with Crowler injection, big stacks coming out of it. We took a ride in it one night. He owned the machine shop next door to my shop. And we went up the highway and something broke and she had water, fuel, we didn't know what it was. Went all over the windshield. He shut it off and we got off the side of the road. And it turned out it was something coolant that came loose. So there was an exit right there, and we took the exit, go up the hill, and then as we topped the hill, we could coast down to his shop. So we didn't have to drive very far. So he got on it, and we got off the road, got up that hill, and just we go over the top. It didn't gonna quite make it. He goes, "We're gonna need to help push." And I jumped out and had these big white meats on the back, and I burned myself a little bit on the side pipe, and then that big wide tire ran over my foot. It just went whoop over my shoe, but it didn't seem to hurt me. I got up and we pushed up over the top of the hill and then rolled down the hill into his machine shop. And so that was my experience with the warm side pipes. And that car, sadly, he had property out away from town, and there was a big old forest fire come through California. Burned his barn down, took out his Model A, his 67 Corvette, and a 56 Nomad. All got burned up in that fire. So that car's gone. I'm not very agile anymore to avoid side pipes, yeah.
Mexican spec says they knew the job was dangerous when they took it. I don't think that applies to side pipes, Mexican spec. And yeah, I wouldn't want my passenger to burn themselves on the side. Don't side pipes have like those nice
some of them have shields over them. Some have shields over them, but some of them people just build them out of just out of like a 3-inch tube down there and dump out the size.
That would be dangerous.
Yeah. I had a 57 Ford wagon like that. Just had big old 3-inch tubes down the side and dump out just ahead of the rear wheels.
Raw Dog wants to know who has the best rock festivals.
I don't know. I don't know anything about rock festivals. If you want to name something, name the best car factory. Yeah, you're getting tired, aren't you?
We're at 3.5 hours.
We're at 3.5 hours. That's about where we call it quits. So
don't coddle people, Kim. They have lessons to learn. Okay, look though, the side pipes, you should at least warn them.
Okay, I have one more. I really like that car. Should I show one more car?
Hot things are hot.
I think I might just leave that one because I like that one.
Don't touch the oven.
That's a good way to.
That's a good ending.
That's a good ending car. I really like that car.
I'm surprised it doesn't have a bumper. Traditional bumper.
It does have a bumper. It's Endura.
Oh man, if you bumped into something with that, you would destroy it out there.
Well, you probably do some damage, but you do. Well, if you hit the beak, it would probably not destroy everything if you didn't hit very hard.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What difference does it make? When you hit something with a car, it costs a lot of money no matter what anymore. They don't
Yeah.
make cars that you can
Mexican
bump.
Mexican Spec says I'm past tired. Yep, we too, us too. Uh, I think what we're gonna do is talk about next week just for a second. Yeah, 3:40 a.m. Next week.
Ooh, Tommy.
Next week is 1956.
56.
That's the oldest, and that's the
old
oldest we're gonna. That's the
cars.
oldest we're ever gonna do because I think this crowd. That's probably at the
Yeah.
oldest they're gonna want to do.
Yeah.
1956.
I don't think we can all be on board with anything older than that.
Do you want
There
to do
wasn't a
50?
lot of.
Do you want to do 56? Okay, I'm going to give everybody a choice here. We're going to vote, and you just put in your vote 56 or 66.
We already did 66. We're doing 56.
We're doing 56. Okay.
I agree that we shouldn't go over.
Okay, we haven't done 56 yet. So it's going to be 56. Of course, there's 56 Chevys, 56 Thunderbirds, 56 Corvettes. There's a lot of cool 56 cars, so I guess we can do those.
And there's some foreign cars and trucks that people will
Volkswagens.
like. There's all kinds of stuff from that year still. So we're going to do that. Jeeps, maybe. Some Jeeps and some other.
We did 66. Okay.
Yeah, so we're going
so
56.
next week we'll do two things next week. We'll do 56 and we'll make a decision on what we're going to do for some shows after that. And we'll go ahead several. But if we have already done 66, I'll cross that one off the list and we can do something else.
Mexican Spec, get some rest, damn it. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
We appreciate you serving as moderator for the stream tonight. And anyone who can still hear the sound of my voice, thank you for being here. I am awarding everyone who is still here. It says 22 people. You all get 3 points for staying till the end. And
Tricolor chromed cars, 56.
bring on the chrome. Oh yeah, the old cars with all the chrome. I want to see it. Different trim levels. You guys, I want to see. Scavenge up some real good pictures. Some nice resto mods and stuff.
St. Patrick's Day. Oh, it's the 17th of March.
We can't dress in green because of the green screen. We're going to have to get creative.
We cannot dress in green. If I have a green shirt on, it just looks like my head's floating around. So is that? See, I gotta look at the calendar.
Yeah, you got to be up early in Mexican Spec for the mechanic in the morning.
Oh no, we're going to be on the 18th. So that's the day before. Okay.
We could. You guys can dress for St. Patty's Day if you want.
Oh, Miss One Eye Cat says back. Just got paying bills for. I understand.
It.
That paying the bills knocked the crap out of you, didn't it? No, it does me. I always feel good, man. The bills are paid, and then I look, it's like I got $3.50 left or something. Okay. Yeah, put a green sticker on your head. Well, see my hat. It has green on it. You can see the bumper of that car through my hat. Looks like you see through my hood. Ah, God, you skipped the ads. Okay, because we're getting out of here, so we're done.
Leaving.
We're done. Okay. Say goodnight, Kim.
Thanks, everyone. I hope you all had a good time. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. We'll be in the shop this week. We have lots of stuff to do. So stop in late this week. Say hello, hang out for a little while. And we'll do it all again next week. Thanks for being here.